Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stupid stream idea. Tonight I'm joined by the boys. Say hello, boys. Oh, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna take those away from you, Remington. Alright, stream's over. Stream's canceled. You know, that's it. We're done. We're done for the day. That's it. Remington cannot be trusted with a soundboard. We're just ending the stream. Hey, gang, 4 minutes of a stream, most of it being silent. You know what? I think that's a winner in our book. That'll look good in the algorithm.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, if I have the stream open and it says we're offline.
No, it's looking good now.
Yeah, no.
Okay, good.
Yeah, refresh.
No, yeah, for me, it's what I'm seeing is it's a black box and it says offline in tiny gray letters. That's weird. Let me refresh the page.
Yep.
Yeah, if it was doing the same, just refresh and you're good.
All right, cool.
Holy shit. Aussie Rat, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Holy shit. Thank you, but also why?
Nerd notness. Ouch.
Oof. That could only be directed at me, and that's a dang unfortunate saying.
Correcting to hotness.
You know?
I don't know.
Well, for those of you who are joining us, I thought it would be fun for just the boys to hang out and make some objective decisions about some things. And I figured, what better way to start with than Remington's objective ranking of all of the One Piece arcs?
I am a professional. I am. Some say I'm the most knowledgeable about One Piece.
Yep, so knowledgeable, in fact, that you're willing to correctly rank all of these arcs in order, so that eventually, when we do cover it, you'll be able to have something to compare it to, as it were.
Yeah, of course.
And also, I feel like if we cold post this on our Twitter, we're either going to invite some of the biggest hate ever, or some of the best responses we could ever hope for.
All right,
it's gonna be so fucking funny.
Let's do it.
All right, so Remington, we're gonna just do it in order to keep it nice and simple.
Yeah.
We're starting with Alabasta. Where do you think the Alabasta arc belongs? And I will say the pictures they chose for a lot of these, this pre-made tier list are interesting. Like, they make sense, kind of, but also they could have definitely chosen better pictures to represent the arcs.
And this list, it's in chronological order, right?
Not at all. No.
Fuck.
Nope.
Why not? Wouldn't that make sense?
You'd think. And I was like, oh, it's got to be alphabetical since it starts with Alabasta, but no, it goes Alabasta, Drum Island, Long Island, Water 7, and it's like, there's no...
It's just whatever they remembered.
It's just what they remembered in order, and that is infuriating. If you like, I can quickly arrange them in order, because I do know the order by heart. But
I would like that. I feel like that feels better to me.
Okay, I will do that. Give me just
so
one
that way
second.
We're not awkwardly jumping around.
And while you're doing that, give Remington a hat.
I can't do two things. Son of a bitch. Hold on. Okay.
They want a rat hat.
No, that means having Aussie Rat harass us live on stream. Not today.
Oh, I see.
Not happening. But did they actually redeem hats? Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, there you go, Rem. Have a little slime cap.
Hell yeah, slime me, dad.
No, that's not.
Slime me, father.
I don't think you know what you're asking for, sir.
No, he's seen fucking Nickelodeon shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
once when I was young, I went to the Nickelodeon resort and I got slimed. So, you know.
Oh, that's
just some childhood memories of getting slimed.
Because that's what you want to.
And no one will ever get slimed there again.
Oh. Where's my whiskey? Where is it? Peak. Little garden. Yeah, like
I give everyone an update on what Hermes is doing. I'm trying to edit right now, and he keeps grabbing my hand with his claws and pulling it to his mouth so he can lick my fingers.
That's a door. Just let him.
Oh, you can't edit if he's got some finger licking situations going on.
Hey, Hermes, stop that, buddy. I love you. Stop.
Jaya, Skypia, Long Ring, Long Land, 7 is lobby post. Okay, so like this chunk is all in order. Oh wait, yeah. Okay, I've inadvertently put it in the correct order now. So the back half was in the correct order. It's just
the first half was fucked.
First half was completely fucked, which you
All right.
think that would be the easiest one to get over. But Remington, let's rank the One Piece arcs in the most correct way you know how. Starting with Romance Dawn, which is the opening arc.
Yeah. We're all right. We're gonna start a little controversial. All right.
Okay.
I think Romance Dawn. It's more important than it is good. We're gonna start out D.
Oh.
Relative to everything else. All right.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, yep. You know what? I knew what I was asking for when I came up with this idea. But okay. Any other reasons?
It starts out. It has some interesting ideas, but there's just all the exposition, and it doesn't quite find its footing yet. And so it's like going back to it. It's just a little bland in comparison to what comes afterwards.
I see.
Hard agree.
Okay, Dylan, you cannot.
Yeah,
you cannot.
Well, of course you can.
It's also been a year and a half since you've read it.
All right, what's the next one?
Next one is Orangetown. Would you like to know the main villain of Orangetown?
I already know it, but if you want to share it with the class, you can.
That'd be Buggy the Clown.
Yeah.
Shaun is incorrect. His name is Bugger the Clown.
I'm gonna go with C. I think it has a polarizing villain. A lot of people just annoyed. But I have my clown biases. I'll acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think that it's like it's probably borderline C and D, but we'll put it C to represent our clown biases.
Okay. And next up is a Syrup Village.
Syrup Village. All right, yeah, of course. Syrup Village, I think is the first time it like starts to meaningfully hit its stride, right?
Okay.
As well as it has one of the most tragic moments of the early part of the series. So I'm gonna bump it, of course. It's we all know this, John. Come on,
right?
And so I'm gonna have to go A on that one.
A tier for Syrup Village.
Yeah, probably low A, but
okay. It's the highest one so far.
Yeah, it's an early peak.
Okay. And if you want me to refresh your memory with anything, feel free to ask me to. All right.
Well, I remember everything perfectly. It's just whether or not you want to remind like the audience.
Okay. Next up is the Baratier arc, which features the floating restaurant ship Baratier. If you couldn't tell, all of these arcs are named after where they are. It's location based.
Yeah. I like what they were trying to do with it. But it falls into the food anime tropes. And those just have those are just often less compelling to me.
Oh, I see.
And so I think it's possible to put it in a lower B, but I think I'm gonna go with C.
Okay, above or below Orangetown?
Above.
Okay. Baratier C tier. Interesting. All right. Next up, now Remington. We all know this.
Yeah.
But this next arc is where a lot of people say makes or breaks the series. How do you feel about Arlong Park?
Arlong Park. you see, I see the controversy.
Okay.
Right. It is when you figure out whether it is for you or not, but I feel like it's the quality I think is decently there. I think some of the creative decisions are interesting, but bad.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
where it's like, oh man, oh shit. It's crazy that happens, but then like when you think about it and when you sort of like let it process everything, um, I'm gonna I'm gonna go C tier again. At
Wow.
the top of C tier, top of
Top
C
C
tier.
tier. Okay. And that's including. And what would you have to say to all the people that cried at Nami's heartfelt scene near the end?
Um, yeah, y'all are simps. Come on now.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. 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 Next up is Logue Town. Right before they get into the Grand Line, you know, the big scary place that they've been planning to go. What do you think of Logue Town?
The unfortunate thing, like you feel like, oh cool, we're on this precipice, right? And unfortunately, I feel like they fall into a little bit of a holding pattern here. Um, and it's clear that like this is just transitionary, if anything. I would call this arc.
Okay.
It's just filling space from the previous one to the next one. I'm gonna go with a D on this one.
D. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Above or below Romance Dawn?
Below.
Oof. And
That
next.
that might be just because like Romance on starting it all out, respecting its legacy a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just
Interesting. Interesting.
it's not doing it for me.
Okay. Next up is Reverse Mountain, the actual entrance to the Grand Line itself.
Well, I think this one it was a B, a real solid.
Okay.
I don't think I have like wildly strong feelings about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I recognize the quality is there. Fun character. I really like the character they introduce in this arc.
Laboon.
Yeah, I love Laboon.
Laboon. What's your
He's
favorite part
great.
about Laboon?
First of all, his vibe.
I will agree. His vibe is immaculate.
Truly. I also just the girth
Penis.
of the lad. Yeah, the girth of the lad is impressive.
I mean, you're not wrong. Laboon is probably the girthiest in any of the arcs we've talked about so far, I would say.
Yeah.
You
I,
know what?
I
So,
just I like the sheer scale of it.
as you should. As you should. All right, and next up, another controversial arc. How do you feel about Whiskey Peak?
I think they fucked it. I
Yeah.
think I feel like in a parallel world, this is where One Piece gets canceled. This is where they just kind of give up on it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go F tier.
F tier. Wow.
Um, there's just no redeeming qualities. Like it starts out with an interesting idea, and they're gonna do it. Is cool little a side quest adventure, and then it's utter trash. They make the wrong creative decision at every turn.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, but what about the really cool scene where Zoro gets to show off his new sword? Isn't that something? Doesn't that do it for you a little bit?
Not really, no.
No.
Uh,
Interesting.
like it shouldn't have gone down that way. Shouldn't have gone down that way.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna
I
say.
agree. There are some things in that arc that feel a little forced. Like, why did Luffy fight Zoro? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Like I feel like you could have saved it for later and actually created like a cool moment out of it, as opposed to just being like it's happening.
Fan service type of situation. Yeah.
And it's fan service that like you could have had the fan service exist in a well built, well developed, and more natural way. Why force it? Why rush it? Why do it like that? Come on now.
You know, I think this is probably one of your most correct takes so far. Uh, I personally don't think there are any F tier arcs in One Piece, but that's because I love it. But I think your ranking is appropriate. Okay, but up next is Little Garden.
Little Garden. You know what? I gotta go. I think another A tier.
Another A
Low A
tier.
tier, but I'm gonna go A tier.
Okay, so below Syrup Village.
You know what? Right above Syrup Village.
Their village. Any particular
Yeah.
reasons?
Yeah. I thought that I like it when they get weird.
Okay. They do get a little
And,
weird in this arc, I will say.
yeah.
Like,
Uh,
I wasn't expecting dinosaurs.
and it's just one of those. It's like so stupid that it circles back to being cool. Uh,
You're kind of
this
right about
one,
that, actually, in a lot of
I
ways.
think like objectively probably a B minus, but with just my personal preferences, we're putting it at a. It's just enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
just a good time.
Yeah, like I mean, it's a short arc, but it's a lot more fun than the previous one. So,
That probably helps is that it doesn't overstay its welcome.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Understandable. All right. Next up, this is going to be hard for you to decide. I know because next up is Drum Island, where we're introduced to Tony Chopper.
Oh, all right, all right. The character is fine. I think their introduction's kind of bad. I
Really?
think, yeah. Um, hmm. Well, it's once again, I'm torn between. It's like, oh, do you look at what it sets up or like what it is in actuality? And I think judging it in a vacuum, I think it's going to be the lowest C.
The lowest C. Interesting.
Yeah.
Not even Chopper
I
can
might
carry it that
change
high.
my mind and put it to D later. Uh, I just think the introduction they give it doesn't establish the character well. It doesn't. It's I feel like they waste their time on frivolous bullshit instead of deepening the character, establishing it in their relationships and history, blah blah blah. Like they do those things, just not well.
Interesting. Okay. Huh. All right. And what do you have to say for all the people that cried at the end of this arc?
Simps.
For Tony
Reindeer
Chopper? Reindeer
Yeah, they're
Sims?
reindeer
Oh
Sims.
no. Remington, he's 14.
I'm not the one simping for him. I ain't the reindeer simp.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Now, next up, this is arguably one of the most popular arcs in the entire series. Very much so in the first half, at the very least. How do you feel about the Alabasta arc?
All right, Alabasta. I recognize why it is popular. First of all, I get it. I
Okay.
understand. I think that I don't like it as much as others. Once again, I think the character they introduce here, I don't vibe with. I don't vibe with the main dude.
You don't vibe with the main antagonist? Is that it? Or
Yeah. I feel
you
like
don't like Crocodile, is what you're saying?
yeah, no, it just yeah, I think it's good. It could have been great, and it
So
wasn't. Low B.
low B, a low B, okay. But what about Crocodile in particular doesn't really make the vibes for you?
I think that half the time he's on screen, he makes the scenes actively worse.
Really?
Not all the time, but genuinely a solid 50%. I feel like he's dragging everybody else down.
Fascinating. Okay. Well, that'll definitely start some discourse online. All right, how do you feel about Jai?
It's not bad. It's a B minus. That's decent. That's decent.
That
That's
is
okay.
decent. That is decent. Like that's like if C is just like, yeah, it's perfect. B is like it's good, but there's just enough problems that you're lowering it.
Yeah.
And we haven't had any
Exactly.
S tier arcs yet, I can say.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. How
Well,
do you feel?
those are the special ones, right?
Mm-hmm. Ones
We've had
that
really good
specifically
ones,
resonated with you. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like it needs to be both like high quality and resonate.
Okay. All right. Completely fair. Next up is Jaya. kind of like a setup arc in a lot of ways, but really a lot of people think fondly of Jaya. Do you think they're wrong, or do you think that it's just you know, a basically an exposition jump for the next arc?
You know, you know where I'm at with this. I think that if you attach it to the next arc, right?
Hmm.
If you staple them together, then it gets buoyed upwards. In isolation, that's a D, fam.
Ooh, how high of a
Uh,
D?
well, we'll put it in between those two.
All right, between Logtown and Romance Dawn. Uh, But speaking of the next arc, Skypiea, where do you
Oh,
stand on
there
that?
we. All right, all right. This one, real solid. Oh, let's see.
Also, thank you, Libix, for the 100 bits. That's very kind of you.
Ooh,
Uh,
do I? I think the setting is cool.
okay.
One of the coolest settings thus far. Um, I love the design of the antagonist of this one.
Hmm.
That definitely like, you know, for obvious reasons, vibes with me. Uh, I it's either an S or an A for me.
Really?
Um, I think we're gonna have to go high A. The
High
highest A
A.
so far. Not quite an S. Not quite an
Not quite
S.
an S. What do you think is keeping it from being in that S tier for you?
I think like some of the B plots, uh, I care less about.
Okay.
You know,
You know?
where a couple of the straw hats they're doing whatever. It's like I don't care as much. I don't like, which isn't like, it's not bad, but I'm just like, let's cut to the main stuff. Let's cut to the meat. I don't care about I don't want the side dish anymore. I want the meat.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the biggest problem of Skypiea is they took Luffy out of the situation for way too long.
Yeah,
But
it's like throw him back in, coach. Come on now.
all right, and next up is probably one of the most controversial arcs. A fun fact: a lot of people call this arc the canon filler arc, because, in their opinion, it's a bunch of silly nonsense. Um, do you agree with them, or do you think that the silly nonsense is actually, you know, kind of part of the fun of this silly cartoon pirate show, and people are just taking it too
I
seriously?
guess it depends on how we're rating it, right?
Right.
Um, if basically I'm like, if this is what One Piece was, right?
Hmm.
Then it'd be fine. I'd probably end up putting it as a B. But viewed in the totality of One Piece, that's an F, man. That's an F.
An F.
Uh,
Ooh.
because it just, why the fuck are we here? Why are we doing all this miscellaneous bullshit and these games and these shenanigans, right? It, you know, here's my hot take.
Okay.
This whole arc is just like influencer culture in like 2014. Interpret that as you will.
Interesting. So, is it even below Whiskey Peak?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. Interesting.
Because it's just frustrating on a fundamental level.
Okay. All right. Well, and next up, the next three arcs are very, very interconnected. But of course, since they take place in wildly different parts of the story, in terms of like location to location location, we have to keep them separate. So, how do you feel about the first part of this next mega arc, Water 7?
Uh, right. Yeah. This one. Which one of these three would you say has the Dami mommy?
uh,
Is she in all three or just one of the arcs?
I'll tell you right now, this arc centers around Nico Robin, all three arcs. So yes, all three. It's kind of centered around her specifically in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
you know, it checks out.
Hmm.
Uh, I think first one goes in, first and third go into B. The second one I think it has a strong middle that it's built sufficiently. It goes into A.
Okay. Any particular reorganizing you'd like for that?
Uh, put Alabasta below those two.
Okay.
And then put the lobby above Syrup Village.
Okay.
And probably above Little Garden too.
Okay. All right.
We
Fantastic.
stand Dami Mommies in this household. What can I say?
We do. Robin is my favorite. Well, second.
I think they're basically like all three of these arcs are really just good because of her. I think that it does genuinely falter on a lot of other fronts. I think it has a couple just like really trash fight scenes that it tries to present as very important, and I'm like, stop. But yeah, Nico Robin, she carries it.
And what about the multiple times people cried in all three of these arcs? How do you feel about? What do you have to say to them?
Simps.
For Nico Robin this time.
Yeah, which is probably the most acceptable, frankly.
I'd say so. Okay.
Oh.
God damn it, Dylan. Discord adding a soundboard was a mistake.
Fucking amateur.
All right, next up. Next up is another controversial arc. Controversial because a lot of people say that because it followed up the peakness that was Water 7, Enies Lobby, and post Enies Lobby, that it just can't compare. But you and I love spooky stuff. And this has a lot of fun, campy, spooky stuff in it. So does that change our biases towards it? Or do you think like just some of the nonsensical story beats in it just ultimately drag everything down?
Look, once again, it's okay, this won't come as a surprise. I wanted more spooky.
Right.
Like,
you can only get so much from a goofy pirate comic, you know?
Yeah. Like I kind of wanted it to get fucked up. There's like one notable scene, those who are familiar with the arc, the one where it gets like there's a moment that's like meaningfully, I would say, like horror. It like it's spooky themed, but there's one like horror scene, like it is fucked.
Yep.
And I wanted more of that.
You wanted more dark, fucked up horror, less Scooby Doo.
Yeah. But still, low A, no, high B.
High B, above Reverse
Going
Mountain.
high B. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm a sucker for spooky. That one I recognize is
a little
significantly
bit
my bias, and
yeah.
I wanted more. Honestly, if it was more fucked up, probably yes.
But because it didn't quite reach the fucked up tier you were hoping for, no, it's just not right there. Okay. Next up, Sabaody Archipelago.
I think I'm gonna give this one middle D.
Really?
I think how they no, low C.
Low C. Okay, that's a little better.
Yeah, I think how they decided to explore social issues was weird. I thought, it's kind of like the Zootopia racism metaphor. It's like, I don't know if that fits what you're actually trying to communicate as well as you think it does. You know what I mean?
Interesting. And I mean, this is the arc where we're fully introduced to like how the world government treats people, and you think that alone is just not as efficient as it could be?
Yeah, I think that it just feels a little basic and lazy. Like the construction, the overall like structure. It's like, okay, sure.
Okay, and what do you think of the world government as like antagonistic people in general, like especially like the way they treat the residents of Sabaody?
I think that it is good conceptually, but that they don't adequately convey like just how evil just how evil the world government is. Like they're like, oh yeah, obviously, but I feel like it's not just like, oh hey, this is bad. It needs to be like, oh hey, guys, this is insanely fucked.
Okay. So they just didn't push the envelope far enough into fucked up territory for you.
Yeah, it's still like it. I feel like this arc especially, it the jokes, a lot of them feel very out of place.
See, interesting.
It's kind of like in Marvel movies that it's like, oh, intense, fucked up, heartfelt scene, and then they're like, oh, wacky one liner. It's like, god damn it,
Okay.
is that what we needed right now? Really?
Yeah, and how do you feel about the overall tragic way that this arc ended?
I it could have resonated more if it had been better built up to.
Interesting. Okay. Well, in that case, moving on. And we're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close. Next up is Amazon Lily.
Hmm. You know, obviously, I think this is the first S tier.
Yeah, and why's that?
I would argue it's self-evident.
I mean,
Um,
don't get me wrong. The island filled with only women is pretty great. Don't get me wrong. I just find it interesting that that's the first one that gets to S tier. You know. And you know, you're right, because I mean it's an arc where we don't have most of the crew, so you know we get to see our poor captain on his own for a while, which is nice and interesting, and see how important the rest of his crew is. So I can understand like the emotional resonance, but you know, it's just not it's not what I expected to be the first S tier. But you know what, Remington, you are the expert, and I do respect your values.
we love women.
We do love women. Hey, folks, if you're just tuning in, we love women. Women are the best. And what's your thought on Boa? How do you feel about Boa?
Sorry, one more. You know. All right, I've regained my composure for a minute.
Mhm.
I think Boa, you know, the design is, and this is to be expected for One Piece, very male gazy. But I think that the like character is cool. It there it's nice to see you know, another kick-ass woman,
Right.
and one that properly feels like they'll shank a bitch.
Oh, she'll shank a bitch. One of
Oh
her
yeah, of
defining
course.
features is she's willing to shank a bitch. Okay, fantastic. First S tier of the list is Amazon Lily. All right, next up, Impel Down. One of my personal favorites. I actually have a very lovely art print of it that I think I've shown you.
Yeah, I think that
It's the prison break one, by the way, in case you were curious.
yeah, and so you know we see a bunch of like criminals and shit like that, right? Introduces all sorts of zany new characters.
Mm-hmm.
Which I appreciate. Some better developed than others.
Right.
I think the short one is bad.
There are a couple short ones. Can you be a bit more specific? Are we talking what?
The shortest one.
The shortest one. Okay. Hold on. Let me pull up his name real quick because I've forgotten it.
They might be chopper size.
They definitely are. I'll tell you that
Okay,
much.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that one. Yeah, definitely that one.
Saul Death. You weren't a fan of Saul Death?
Not at all. No, no.
No. You thought he was like, as far as like guards go, he was like the most uninteresting.
Yeah, just kind of bland. You know, much more interested in the criminals than the guards. Really.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I thought some of the criminal designs were fun. I thought while the main one was kind of cool, I liked the muscle of the group.
I see. Like the big boy, the big boy,
The big fucker.
the big fucker of the breakout group.
Yeah.
So that's probably Jimbei, if I had to recall. Yeah, that sound right to
Oh
you?
yeah. Love Jimbei.
Hey, everybody does.
I mean, how could you not love Jimbei?
But where does that put it on the list for you?
I'm gonna go with. I think it'll be the second highest B. I
So-
vibed with it. I thought it was quite good.
Everybody loves a good prison break. It's a great
Yeah.
storyline. Fantastic. All right, and next up, now Remington, this next arc, I won't mince words with you. People say this is the best arc of all of One Piece so far. Some people say that. I don't know if I agree with them, but a lot of people say that. A lot of people describe this as peak Piece. Because
I don't
of
think
all.
they're gonna like what I have to say about it. Then.
Oh no, Remington, please, you gotta be fair and objective. You can't just be a contrarian. You gotta be honest.
I'm not throwing it into the dumpster by any means.
Okay.
But it's not gonna be an S, and it's not gonna be an A.
Oh.
I think it's gonna be. Let's put it above Alabasta.
Above Alabasta. Okay.
No. It's still a good rating, guys.
That's
It's
still
just,
very high.
I think.
But you have put Amazon, Lily, Skypia, Enislabi, Little Garden, Syrup Village above it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fantastic.
Yes, I did. I think. You want to hear my hot take, Shaun?
Absolutely, Remington. What is your hot take?
The whole time I'm watching this, I'm just thinking, this is good, but I could be watching like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because I feel like, I'm sure you see the parallels that I'm talking about.
I mean, there is a lot of ice and fire manipulation. I will say that.
And it just makes me think, and it's like, oh man. And so it feels reminiscent of something I would prefer, and that lowers it a little bit. Like what it does well, I don't think is like the most unique or original things. And the unique and original stuff isn't top tier, it's just good. And so it's like, so it ends up a B.
Okay. All right. I respect your opinion, Remington. I cannot wait to post this to the public. And how do you feel about the people that cried at the end of this arc? What do you have to say to them?
Fuck you, Tony.
Are you gonna let the soundboard speak for you, or is that?
Don't be silly. I would say Sims.
For which character in particular this time?
The dead one.
All right, copy that. Next up is the post-war arc. All the recovery and all the dealing with all the emotions that dealing with a painfully powerful war takes.
I think for different reasons, I'm gonna put this basically exactly in line with the last one. You can choose whether to put it above or below, because it's more or less equivalent.
I'll put it below just for chronological sake.
Yeah, I think this one, a lot calmer, a lot quieter, which I can appreciate. I think it shows some of the best humanity. I also think though that I really like a lot of moments. There's some moments it drags.
Okay, interesting.
And so I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. Let's explore this. Okay, I feel like we've explored this sufficiently. Do we need to delve into all the all the existing drama? And Shaun, you know what started out fine but got really grating?
What's that?
The flashback.
Ah, I see. Understandable. There are a lot of flashbacks in that arc. Like it's
Of course there are. It's post-war arc, it's like, oh man, this person that I care about deeply has died. Remember all of our memories together,
yeah,
And it works as a general conceit, but
interesting.
so it's a good arc that overstays its welcome a bit.
Okay, fair enough. All right, and that is the end of the first like half of One Piece essentially. Like that's all the pre-time skip stuff. So now we're just jumping into the post time skip arcs. You know, they were gone for a very long time, but they come back stronger and more ready to take on the challenges of the second half of the Grand Line. You know, and a lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same. So we've got to see where you feel about these. So how do you feel about Return to Sabaody?
I think that it's real weird to binge the last arc into this one,
Mhm.
right?
Like you feel
You're
like you
kinda
need a break
slapped in the
after the
face.
time skip, right? You need to
Yeah,
take a
yeah.
break.
Like I would recommend just like take some time away, let it process. That's not how I experienced it, of course. And so I got that slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Oh God, whoever put that poll up is asking to be murdered. Apparently.
I think I'm gonna put it below Drum Island or around Drum Island.
Okay.
It's difficult to discern around there. It just I don't know. It kind of feels like regression, like time skip moving forward, and yet it feels like we've actually moved way back. And I don't know. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't seem proper to me.
You know, understandable.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, it is kind of just like, hey, the gang's all back together kind of arc. You know, like it's mostly just that kind of situation, and comparing it to the old Sabaody, like it has its purpose, but I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Next up is the first real proper arc of the post time skip, Fishman Island.
This has one of my favorite characters, Shaun.
Well, it does have Jinbei. You're right.
Love Jinbei. We stand Jinbei in this household.
We do. Is it just
I
Jinbei, or
also
do you have another one that's your favorite?
I think the antagonist has a neat design.
Okay.
He's I'll describe him as a little freak. Flappy blue lizard schlongs are dope as hell. Excuse me, what the fuck is that one even supposed to be?
I don't know. But it's definitely a new one. It's definitely a new one. I haven't heard that one before.
Good God. But yeah, I the antagonist being a little freak. Dig that.
Yeah, I would say there are two antagonists. The main one isn't very freaky, but the secondary antagonist is kind of a little freak.
Yeah, I mean the one we care about, Shaun.
Okay, you care much? You care that much about him, huh?
What care more about him?
Okay, understandable.
I think this one is going to high C. We'll put it at like the second highest.
Second highest. Okay.
Second highest on that C tier. I think that it does some fun stuff. I like the little freak, but when you only like 50% of the antagonists, and it's like the Straw Hats in this one. I'm still not locked in yet. I'm still facing that whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I don't know, I need something for it to lock me back in at this stage.
Interesting. Okay. Then next up is Punk Hazard.
I think it's a bold move for them to make Dylan an antagonist of One Piece. I'm proud he won the competition, and I think their representation of him was phenomenal as tier.
So you're saying that the antagonist of Punk Hazard is just basically Dylan?
Yes.
Interesting.
Ara! Yes, he supports it.
Yeah. Just for
If
those
you
who
want,
don't,
you can tell. Yeah, for those who don't know.
the antagonist of Punk Hazard is a mad scientist character called Caesar Clown.
and it's just, if you watch it, it's just so undeniably Dylan.
Yeah. So So is that above or below Amazon Willie? Is Amazon Willie still your number one?
I gotta support my boy, so this will be my number one.
Okay, Punk Hazard is your number one.
Possibly, look, some might say I'm biased. I don't disagree.
Yeah, and how do you feel about what the main character did to those children? Oh, sorry, not the main character. The main villain did to those children.
Um, I don't know if I'm legally allowed to say because it may or may not be based on a true story with our boy Dylan, and it's currently pending investigation.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh no. Okay. Quickly moving.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Quickly moving on. Dress Rosa. This is probably the longest arc to date. Because there's just so much to cover in it. It's taking down a very big, scary, bad dude, as well as a bunch of other little minor emotional things. You know, like it's a whole kingdom dynamic. A lot of people, like the anime adaptation, especially, went for way too long. But a lot of people are remember the manga adaptation the original manga, I should say, quite fondly for its pacing. It's just the anime absolutely shat the bed with the pacing.
If you give me an abridged, right, then fuck yeah. If you basically if you turn it into a highlight reel, this could be up there. This could be real high up there. But it's gonna be upper F. I mean,
oh my Christ!
It's just all the good moments get washed away in a sea of bullshit. Every good episode, there's 5 mediocre to trash ones, and it's like, come on now, dude.
I can't
with it.
I can't disagree with that. Toei really shat the bed with the anime adaptation.
If you make a highlight reel, it's bumping up to mid A. As it stands, sorry, the good moments can't save it.
So just go read the manga instead, folks. That's the lesson of that. But thankfully, the pacing is quickly remedied for the most part in the anime, and it was never an issue in the manga. But we are moving into the mini arc Zoe. Kind of another setup arc for a big arc down the line.
Yeah, I vibe with this one.
Yeah.
I think that I think that it has one of the best designed characters of the whole thing. Of all of One Piece.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Would that be Carrot? Do you think that's Carrot?
Is it Carrot? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it is Carrot.
All right. Wow, that's high praise. Like, I honestly didn't think that's where you would go with it.
No, I just, like, when you see them, you just understand their whole fucking deal, dude. Like, you get it.
That's
you
not wrong.
It.
That's not wrong. Like, you look at Carrot, and you automatically know exactly what they're like.
And frankly, I think that for obvious reasons, Shaun, I think that this is an S tier for Shaun. It's the most Shaun thing in the world. But for me, it's going to end up being probably about the lowest B tier.
Now, Rem, be honest with me. Did you look up what Carrot looked like just to refresh your memory just now?
Is Carrot a bunny?
Maybe.
Is Carrot Judy Hopps?
No.
Okay, she's not a cop.
No.
Is she a mother?
Definitely not, no.
Yeah, of course not. And of course that's because she's so young. But I'll tell you what, I've seen some aged up pictures of Carrot on Shaun's computer.
I don't like these allegations.
Is it a bunny girl or is it just a rabbit? That's probably an important claim.
Hey, you know what? I'll send you a picture to remind you.
I know that, but like so everybody
I'll send you a picture to remind you real quick.
Oh.
God damn it, Dylan.
I'm gonna get that bread. I'm a cum slut, daddy. Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Oh yeah, exactly as I remember, and
Yep.
thus exactly why. Frankly, I don't even know if Shaun watches any of the other bits of this arc. I think he
I see.
just.
I see. Interesting.
uh, but Shaun, it's the next arc. Here we fucking go.
Whole Cake
Either
Island.
high A or low S.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, Remington. Objectively, Whole Cake Island is an S tier arc for me. Like,
That makes sense. I'm debating whether it's there for me.
right? Because it gives one of the more problematic Straw Hats some of the best backgrounding and backstory of the whole story,
It
and you feel
weirdly, it
genuine
makes a lot of
emotions.
like the previous. It makes a lot of previous episodes more watchable in
Mhm.
hindsight, and I
You can,
appreciate that.
yeah, you
I
can
also
forgive
think
him for
as
his antics. Like he had some really rough parts in the mid part of One Piece, but this whole arc like solidifies him as an actual character rather than
I
just
think that it has some of the best fight scenes.
yeah. Okay.
Um, I think it's going to go to the top of A. I don't think it quite gets to S because there are filler chunks
Right.
that I don't like as much. Um, they're more watchable. They're better filler, but they're still like, oh my god. By my definition of filler, of course, it's still too much for my liking, and it's like it's once again it's still enjoyable. It's just it dilutes it a little much. If it was less diluted, S tier.
Okay.
With the dilution, A tier.
Yeah, I just have two questions about it, real quick for
Yeah.
clarification. What are your thoughts on the antagonist, Big Mom?
Wow. Big Mom, terrifying. You know,
Oh
first
yeah,
of all.
objectively, one of the scariest things in this show.
I like the fairy tale and or dessert themed villainy.
It has
That's
both.
all
You're
I'll
right.
say.
Yeah, it has both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like both sides of that. I like that's why I said and or because I meant and.
Yeah. Okay. And of how do you feel about all the people that cried in regards to the character we mentioned previously?
Simps.
Okay. Uh,
Weirdly, for Big Mom.
yeah. So they were crying for the other character, but their simpage is all directed towards Big Mom.
That's what I will accuse them of.
Okay. Fantastic. All right, we're almost done. We're almost done. Next up is the Reverie arc, which is very much like setting up some of the political intrigue in the rest of the world and establishing some stuff for stuff that we haven't even seen in the show yet, essentially. But it's one of those things where it's like, this is what's going on with the government right now, and things are a lot more questions have been created for us to ask. Where do you think it stands for you?
Smack it down to the top of C. This could have been accomplished in half the time.
Wow, impressive. Considering it's only a 10 episode arc, you know what? Bold statement.
That's still 10 whole episodes.
That's true. It's true.
If they really wanted to, they could have smushed it into 2.
You know, I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could.
I probably would have just cut it in half, but I think they could have cut it down.
Oh my
It
god.
also has some stupid as fuck designs.
Well, you weren't a fan of King Hamburger?
I wanted to like King Hamburger, didn't work. Didn't work for me. I thought it was real stupid.
What about King Taco?
Pretty comparable. If I had to choose, I'd choose King Taco over King Burger.
Fair. Honestly,
But
fair.
also, like, I don't care.
You know, understandable. And this list is a little outdated, unfortunately, because the last arc on this list is Wano. We're currently in the Egghead arc, so it's understandable, and that one's still ongoing. So it's understandable that you wouldn't be caught up on that part.
Of course.
But Wano is the last one. It's the most recent arc to finish, and a lot of people say it is the best that post time skip One Piece has to offer for them, and it also has the cool Japanese theming to it as well. Oh,
I think that visually this one's the strongest. Um, let's go. Because story wise, I disagree with how they handle one of the Straw Hats.
you think that since this was like the Japanese setting, that Zoro should have had a little bit more going for him in it?
It just makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like it, I feel like we were all waiting for it, kind of. Because it feels like borderline foreshadow. It feels like, oh, this is where you slot him in, and then they just don't.
Yeah, I mean, we get some of it. It's just we didn't get a lot of it, you know? Like, we just had Whole Cake Whole Island for one other character, and Zoro didn't quite get that exact same treatment. But the question is, Rem, where are you putting it?
I like its style, but I think it's style over substance, Shaun.
Really?
I'm gonna say high C. Right above Fishman Island.
Oof. And there we have it.
There we go. There's the objective list.
The objective
Now
list.
make sure to put that on the podcast Twitter.
Yep, I'm downloading the image right fucking now. Because that that is a list. Would you make any final arrangements, or do you think it's perfect as is?
Look, I'm sure that if I went and dealt into the minutia, I could probably find some things. Especially like within tiers, I could probably do some minor rearranging. It's not worth the effort. This is mostly correct. We'll lock it in.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, I've saved it. And Rem, are you at all curious as to what a standard anime fan would rank it, or do you just think that you're just the most objectively correct and you don't need to see any other evidence to the contrary?
I mean, they're obviously biased.
I see. As longtime fans of the show.
Yeah,
And
so,
and the years of peer pressure from other people.
I like they're living with nostalgia and
Okay.
hype.
Okay.
I had neither nostalgia nor hype.
Okay.
I just raw dogged this shit.
Well, in that case, I think I'll also put together my tier list, and we'll post them both at the same around the same time, just so people can compare.
Perfect.
Just so that they can see the difference. But yeah, no, this is Remington Chase's objective ranking of all of the arcs of One Piece. From
just science, folks.
Just science. And that is a wonderful tier list, Remington. A wonderful got a first time chat that is just crying Isaac. You know, that is that says a lot about how people are probably gonna feel when we actually post this.
The people want to see the community rank, so for them, I guess we can.
Okay, all right. You don't have to. Let's have a look at the community rank. Let's see where everybody else stands. So I did some major adjustments because they, for whatever reason, the default for this tier list had like pluses, and I was like, don't be cowards, just have standard deviations. But according to the broad community, presumably this is how everybody has saved it. It's quite different.
I can't help but notice that they seem to not like Dylan and women. So
yeah, no, it's a little, it's got to be said. Well,
I know that it's like, oh, A, B plus, shut the fuck up. Like correlated to meaningful tiers.
Yeah, like if you were to like ignore the letters and just focus on the ranking alone.
Weebs hate Dylan and women. You've heard it here first.
And fishmen, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Cloacas.
Fishmen don't have cloacas, Dylan. That's a bird thing.
Kirito's dick feels rotten in the mouth. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God. The more of those you do, the less we have a chance of posting this on YouTube, Dylan.
It's
true. But yeah. Which one of these do you disagree with the most, out of curiosity?
Well, I mean the Dylan one.
The Dylan one. You think that Punk Hazard should very clearly be all the way up in S tier, S+ tier for them?
Why must they hate our editor?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my two S tiers are just rated way too low.
Yeah.
Um,
But you
uh,
guys seem
and
to have agreed on Long Ring Long Line. That's something.
and then there's a handful like that are rated too high, like the default arc, the
Dawn, yeah.
romance dawn, but that's nostalgia. I expected that.
Yeah.
Um, uh, the Dressrosa, that one definitely rated too high, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
They're ranking the highlight reel. All right, they're ranking the highlight reel as far
I
as I'm
see, I
concerned.
see. Oh, interesting. Well, Remington, do you think that's one tier list is enough for you this stream, or do you want to do another one?
Let's see.
Because
I suppose
I have one backup, but it's less it's a bit less, I'll say.
it's a bit less.
Yeah, because like it's such a standard. It's just a standard standard backup tier list. You know, and I'm just curious.
the most on brand thing for Shaun fucking Rollins I've ever goddamn seen.
150.
He's had this on his just on a tab on his second monitor for weeks now, waiting
By
for
the
the
way,
opportunity.
Well, yeah, I want to.
Apparently, Aussies redeemed hats.
Oh goodness.
I do
Yeah.
appreciate the child tier. I do appreciate
Yeah.
the child
Okay, so
tier.
I adjusted this one too because
Yeah, I assumed as much.
yeah, because like first of all, it only went from A to D for some reason.
I
And
feel like
it
all
had
of
words for
the-
all of them. It had words for all of them, like very weird objective, like this is the hottest thing ever, to like, oh, this is one of the grossest characters ever. And it's like, but where's the obvious child tier? Because there are definitely children in this list.
I mean, you got
I'm
Alice
looking
right
at the
fucking
list.
there.
Yeah.
It seems like most of this list is children.
Yep. Like
On
I
the
said,
level-
I curated this list an hour before the stream started. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't know, fam. I'll leave that one for you.
Go fuck
That one's
yourself.
all yours, champ.
Well, in that case, do you have a tier list that you think we should do?
I don't know. We could do like a spooky movie tier list or something. We both like horror.
All right, let's see if I can find one real quick. Well, first things first. I probably shouldn't do that while that is on screen because the last thing I need is for something random to come up. So give me a second.
You know, you should probably change to like an intermission screen real quick.
Yep.
Lethal Company did win the poll. However, the
Ooh.
poll, I believe, had a stipulation regarding whether or not we could get Rem involved.
Correct.
I
And we
didn't
may- well-
say fuck the poll and fuck the people. They said fuck the poll and fuck the people because I'm here. All right. I have not forced my hand or engaged with the poll in any way. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we should have time to do a little bit of Lethal Company here in a bit. We'll see, depending. That is a huge fucking tier list. So let's hope we can find a slightly shorter one.
Yeah. Like it says franchises. So
Okay.
yeah.
So you'll have your Screams, you'll have your Evil Deads, you'll have your Halloweens.
Yeah. There's also a horror villain smasher
Have you
pass.
heard
Okay.
of Wiki Feet?
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
See, weirdly, I think I could judge horror movies better than horror franchises because for most of the big franchises, I've usually only seen the first or second.
Right.
Like I haven't.
For most of them, they all drop off pretty significantly.
Yeah, I'm sure
after, like,
eventually I'll get
third.
around to like completing these franchises, but for the most part, it's been an experience where it's just like I want to at least see the
Well, we could do
origins.
it based on the first
Oh.
film in each franchise.
I guess.
Yeah, well, I just found a list that has a bunch of miscellaneous horror movies. I
fuck
don't
yeah.
I don't like all the caveats on the tier list itself, but I can fix it. I can fix it. Hold on.
Make Sean Ray Feet. No, God, no, fuck no.
Absolutely
fuck
not.
No.
Dylan would die.
I would leave the stream. Also, redeem hydrate.
Hydrating.
While Sean's doing that, I'm actually gonna walk into the kitchen and grab some water.
Yeah. And I will say, once we're done with
I'm a little cat girl.
you bitch. I will say, once we're done with the tier list shenanigans, I will probably switch to a game of some kind because
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
yeah,
Doom round or something, Lethal Company, because it did win the poll. We gotta honor the poll.
Hey, Sean,
well, yeah.
do you want to know what I think is the hottest Disney or Pixar mom?
Ooh, Rem.
The Lord. The Christian God.
Appearing in which notable Disney Pixar film?
All of them.
He was there the whole time,
Exactly.
like Sam Reich.
Precisely so.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I've fixed the list a little bit. Ignore the brackets. That's just how they decided to do it. I got rid of all the pointless words. But let's see.
All right, let's do it.
Da-da-da-da-dum. Okay.
You want to zoom in a bit so we can get a better view of these covers?
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on.
That's a lot of films. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Should've
first
thought
up,
they'd been ghosts.
and there's not an order. There's just not an order at all. Again.
It's chaos, baby.
All right. So we've got 10 Cloverfield Lane. Have you seen this one?
I have. I am leaning towards a B.
I think that's appropriate for it.
I think it's I like the limited setting. I like the vibes. I think the performances are quite strong. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I think that it is quite good.
Hell yeah. All right. Soul Station.
Never seen it.
Neither have I.
All right, fuck that one.
Reanimator.
Reanimator. I watched this one just the other day, actually.
Really?
Oh fuck yeah.
It's a great movie.
I'm gonna go with. I would say another B.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a fun little classic, you know.
Yeah. And I'll say, since there's so many, if we want to do any like individualistic rearranging, just mention it. We'll just
Yeah.
we'll argue.
We're just doing tiers. All right. Well,
yeah. 28 Days Later.
I'm leaning between B and C for me.
I think it's more C
think-
personally because I think
Yeah.
a lot of the fond remembrance comes from the hey, wait a minute, fast zombies. What an idea.
Like I appreciate what it did,
Yeah.
but I think that I don't know. It's not one that I'm like, oh, I need to rewatch that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one that really sticks with you afterwards.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's what it is.
There we go. I'm in a hot tub with Dylan now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although it
baby.
does look like you're sipping that water, bud, which is a little unfortunate.
I need that gamer cat girl bathwater.
All right, Sweeney Todd.
Huh. All right. Let's see.
I think as a musical it's wonderful, but I don't know as a horror film.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go C.
Yeah.
It has fun novelty as a musical. I think that it also has some dumb shit.
So much. So fucking much.
and like some of the effects are rough. It's enjoyable. But yeah, see.
Fantastic Planet. Never even heard
Who
of this
fuck
one.
knows? Yeah,
Yeah.
have not seen.
One that you and I are very familiar with, Akira.
Goddamn weeb. All right, let's give it an A tier, you son of a bitch.
Well, hey, Rem, do you not remember our review on it? It was a great movie that we never want to see again.
Yeah, it deserves an A tier.
Yeah.
I don't
A
think it quite
mid-plumber,
deserves
then.
S. S is
S is for
Properly
the people who
special horror.
truly love it. As
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
but yeah, it deserves an A. It's just unfortunate that the highest rated so far is a goddamn anime.
Yeah. 30 Days of Night.
I am not familiar.
I'm vaguely familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, we'll put it in the have not
It-
seen since, the pair of us haven't.
Yep.
Yeah.
The ABCs of Death. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
God.
Have not seen.
No.
What the fuck?
American Psycho.
I'm gonna give it an A tier.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it like can bump up against S, but no, we're saving S. American Psycho, it's phenomenal, such good satire and so compelling and interesting, and
And
uh,
you can watch it with two completely different perspectives, and it's wonderful. One where it's
yeah,
played straight, where it's just a creepy dude being a killer. The other where it's just a like you know unreliable narrator
Unreliable
situation,
narrator. Yeah.
and it's
yeah, and
wonderful.
it's just such a fascinating exploration of like vapid wealth. I love it. It's great.
Yeah. I've not seen this one for obvious reasons. Arachnophobia.
I have not seen either.
No. Candyman.
If you give Candyman anything other
Ooh.
than an S, I will slap you.
I think that I think it's A or B, unfortunately.
See, and I'm
Um,
willing to give it.
mm,
Also, I say we split the difference because I also think it's basically S tier for me.
All right,
Uh,
let's put it in A. I think it's very good.
yeah, but
I think it's very good. I'm not putting it in S.
yeah. All right, Children of the Corn.
I've not seen Children of the Corn.
It
oh,
is. I have. I'm sure
God.
Dylan has. I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now, bud.
Fucking C tier.
I think it's more D, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. I'll give you that.
Like
Fair,
there's
fair.
there's some like if you can watch it for the goofy aspects, it's great. Otherwise, no. Okay, Cloverfield.
Um, Probably C tier.
Yeah.
I like me a good like found footagey monster movie.
Mm-hmm. But there are better
Um,
found footagey monster movies.
yeah, I think it has some pitfalls. Like it's a C tier that like I like it's borderline C and B, but yeah,
Okay.
Fair.
The OG Creature from the Black Lagoon.
D tier.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's an argument for F, honestly, but
it has
mostly
the
for
classic.
legacy reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh.
don't think it's a good movie.
Okay, and this might test our friendship with Dylan. But the OG Crow.
I've never seen it.
Neither have I.
Gentlemen.
I've seen clips of it, but I've never fully watched the movie. I've seen it when it's like played on TV. That's about
I
it.
love the original. The sequels aren't great. I'm going to hate the remake
Probably.
because they made him look like the fucking Joker and gave him a mullet.
I'm sure that me and Rem would enjoy it. I'm sure we would.
Yeah,
It's not a horror film. It's one of the early superhero films, basically, just very gothic and with beautiful aesthetic.
Oh, so it's an F tier
apparently,
horror film then.
some people think I wouldn't like it, so
It's fun, it's silly, it's campy, and the aesthetic is beautiful. But
Yeah. All right. OG Dracula.
Um,
I think at worst
I
it's a
think
C.
that's actually the poster for one of the
Yeah.
Hammer Draculas with Christopher Lee. I can't tell.
Oh, is it? Like
I
it's got
can't
that
tell.
old school Universal Studio sign, so I just assume that
Yeah.
it's the OG.
yeah, I'm gonna
could
assume
be.
it's the OG. I'm gonna say C tier.
Yeah.
I like it is surprisingly watchable for its time, and that's very impressive. But it is still a product of its time, and you're gonna feel that.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna double check which Dracula poster that is. I think that might be the Bela Lugosi Dracula one.
Escape Room.
um, F
I-
tier probably.
yeah.
Maybe D tier. Maybe D tier. Because like the concept is kind of neat, but the execution, it's
Look,
That
man.
was the Bela Lugosi
it's
one.
been a long time since I've seen it, but I
Look, as Escape Room fans, I think it's an F tier.
yeah, I think from what I remember, it was trash, and I might be misremembering details, but man,
Okay. Now this one will really test our friendship with Dylan. Evil Dead 2.
It is Evil Dead 2. It's the one Remington actually liked.
Yep.
between B and A.
I'm willing to say A personally because I quite like it a lot.
Yeah.
Minus the tree scene. Nobody likes the tree scene.
No.
All right. The OG Frankenstein.
Oh, I'm gonna give it B.
Honestly, yeah. I think that's perfect. Of the old school Universal monster movies, I think it's my favorite.
Yeah, like Frankenstein's good. Bride of Frankenstein is phenomenal. If that one shows up, oh
fuck
baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Frozen, not the Disney.
I think the premise is neat. The execution is haphazard to bad. I Do I give it a D just based on the fun premise?
It's all you. I haven't seen it.
I'll tentatively put it in D.
Okay,
Probably a lower D. It's
Yeah.
not great.
This one I have seen.
But-
Happy Death Day.
Oh,
Happy Death Day? Surprisingly good.
it caught me off guard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
By all accounts, it should have been hot garbage. But it was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
Probably a B. A respectable B. A respectable B.
Respectable B. All right, House of Wax.
I have not seen House of Wax.
I have, but it's
You get
been.
to see Paris Hilton die.
Is that the selling point?
Depends on how you feel about her.
I suppose. As I like, it's nothing super amazing. I don't think. Genuinely, I barely remember it. Like if I had to, I'd probably give it like.
It's the middest of the mids.
I mean, if you can't
Yeah.
remember, you can put it in have not seen.
Yeah, let's just put in have not seen just because I genuinely don't remember much about it. This one I do remember. I Am Legend, the Will Smith one.
oh, fuck.
It's been too long since I've seen it. Like when I was very, very young, I liked it,
Mm-hmm.
but like I have zero conception of any level of quality that it may have.
Yeah, I distinctly remember some aspects of it being fantastic and others being.
Now, is it the theatrical or director's cut? That's,
It is a poster, Dylan.
that's probably the theatrical one. Theatrical one is shit.
Yeah, well, I would say rating it on its best version that I remember. I think I can give it like a high C, low B. It's what it feels like to me.
Let's go
The,
see.
the
Let's go
book is
see.
good, or the story is good.
Yeah.
But the movie.
Okay, Tom Cruise in Interview with the Vampire.
Never seen it.
Neither have I. Dylan, you've definitely seen it though, right?
Yeah, of course I have.
Yeah, I
It's
figured.
a B. It's a solid B.
Okay. Jennifer's Body.
Fuck yes. Ah,
Well,
love that movie.
I'm gonna argue like it's one I need to rewatch. I'm gonna give it an A.
I would
yeah.
agree.
That might
Fuck yeah.
be a bit of like I could understand an argument for B, and a part of me putting it in A is just because it's underappreciated.
I agree. Like I remember when this movie came out and so many people didn't want to see it, primarily due to Megan Fox being the main person.
Yeah, well, and the marketing was trash. It was
Yeah.
like, hey, want to watch a sexy Megan Fox movie? Ooh, look at the male gaze, fellas. And then it was like, hey, we're actually going to explore these themes in a very fascinating way. And we're going to actually handle things pretty intelligently. And people were like,
Better
what
take
the
on ginger
fuck?
snaps. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a better take on ginger snaps, and I really enjoyed ginger snaps. Jennifer's Body's great.
Oh, it's a good
It's
movie.
getting a bit of a resurgence nowadays.
Good. I believe that's Antichrist.
Oh god, is that the Willem Dafoe one where you see his massive schlong?
I assume so because it does have Willem Dafoe on the title.
That's the one.
I've not seen it, but
Neither have I.
I mean, given the title and Willem Dafoe's massive schlong, I need to.
Yeah. So we can't properly rank it, but where would you put it, Dylan, if you had to?
Oh god, I'd probably put it high B, but
Okay.
it
Fair.
is. There's a behind the scenes thing where the director of photography was like, we need to get him a costume or something like a prosthetic because no one's gonna believe it's that big.
So good.
All right. Let Me In. I don't think I've heard of this one.
That's a remake of
this-
Let the Right One In, right?
I've not seen the remake. I've seen the original. Do I judge if Let the Right One In
Hold
isn't
on,
on this
let me
list,
double check.
then I can judge Let Me In as Let the Right One In, but I've not seen Let Me In.
Is it? Yeah, it's a remake of Let the Right One In.
Is Let the Right One In on this list?
It's not exactly alphabetical, my guy.
Yeah, fair. Right now put it at the top of have not seen.
Okay. And if we come across the other one, then yeah. Okay. Mama.
Not seen.
Neither have I. Wait, have I? Have I seen that? Sounds familiar.
No, you're just thinking of all the MILFs, Shaun.
Oh,
Heyo.
you're right. How wrong I am. I'm sorry.
Silly Shaun.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. Nosferatu.
Oh fuck.
The original Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Yep, the one where all of the
Okay.
original screenings were burned.
Okay, here. Okay, all right. I love the German expressionism, and the set design is rad as hell. It does not stand the test of time.
That's why it's
It
at bottom
is-
of D tier.
Yeah, like I
Look, there's
honestly,
not much
like-
keeping it out of F. I'll be honest.
yeah. The only thing keeping it from F is its legacy and the dope set pieces.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm sorry, it's kind of really boring. It's one of those
Yeah.
things that's like, oh, it's cinema, and you're like, yeah, but it's so dull.
Yeah. Okay. The OG Pet Cemetery.
I've not seen.
No.
I
Sorry.
have. I would say, as far as Stephen King goes, this one traumatized me quite a bit as a younger fellow.
Oh god, yeah.
So I'd give it a generous C if I was to, and that's a blindingly generous C. Like, it's basically Children of the Corn. The only reason I'd give it a C is because it actively traumatized me as a kid.
Hey, that works.
Any disagreements from you, Dylan?
Nah, Pet Cemetery. I would put it in C personally, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Phantasm.
I have not seen Phantasm.
Neither have I. All right. Well,
I know I've seen it. I can't remember.
this one I have seen, and I'm sure most people have seen. Hitchcock's
God, yeah.
Psycho.
Ooh, it's great. It's phenomenal.
Like it has to be an easy A, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, there's
I think there could be an argument for S, but I'm thinking with what we have, I think A.
and like I'm putting it middle of A just because, like, yeah, like
It's real good.
it's really fucking good. Oh god, the Resident Evil movie.
The only good thing about those is you get to see Mila Jovovich's tits.
I've not seen it, so I'm.
Are we putting it in D for boobies? Is that where we're putting it?
Yes, that's where I would put it.
All right.
My God.
Okay,
And the door scene where a guy gets cut in half by a glass door.
that is true. I
That
have
was really
referenced that
fun.
scene multiple times in like the 20 years
That
since
was
this movie
so
came
fucking
out.
fun.
Yeah. Scream 2.
Before Scream 1?
Apparently. I mean, I
Is
can
Scream
try
1
and
not
find
on the
Scream 1
list?
for. Oh, no.
Because
That's
I'm not seeing.
here it is.
Okay, I'm seeing.
Okay, let's rate Scream before we do Scream 2.
I know where I'd put it,
Yeah.
but that's me. I need your guys' input.
S, definitely S. I fucking love the original Scream.
Oh, I put it high A, but let's round up to S. I'm okay with it getting our first S.
It is
Okay.
my favorite slasher movie, and
Ozzy says Scream sucked. Excuse me?
Excuse you?
The fuck?
What
It
is
is both a good movie in of itself and a fantastic exploration of horror as a genre. It was boring. What do you mean?
What do you mean it was boring?
Whether you are looking for some fun spooks, some good comedy, or a genuinely thoughtful analysis of the genre, you get all of it. You get everything.
You also get Matthew Lillard being Matthew Lillard.
It's so good.
Ozzy, this might be your worst take.
It might be Ozzy's worst take.
This is Ozzy's worst take. I'm sorry.
It was my first horror. It's a weird decision for your first horror, but I think it can be your first horror. I wouldn't recommend it as
because understanding other horror movies helps you appreciate how good it is.
It's not required, but it helps a lot.
Oh my god, okay. Oh. Scream 2.
I feel like I might have seen this a long time ago, but I cannot remember it.
I would
so
put it
for
solid.
me, I'm gonna vaguely put it in the have not seen category and trust your judgment.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as the first.
No, it's
but it's not bad. I think it's a B. I think it's a B.
All right, cool.
Yeah, a low B, but a B. And if Scream 3 shows up, basically the same.
Oh, Silent Hill.
The Silent Hill movie.
I remember dressing up when working at the haunted house as a jerky nurse in that tight latex outfit in the hallway. It was.
Oh god, I wanted it to be so good.
I've not seen it.
Oh.
Or maybe I have.
It's fucking garbage. The
It's-
jerky
I
nurses
think
are
at
really
one
the
point, me and my girlfriend were going to watch it. I don't think we did, or maybe we did and I forgot.
The only thing that's putting it out of F tier for me is the respect for the IP.
All right, if you want to put it there, that's fine.
It's so bad. It is really, truly bad. But, like, I'm such a Silent Hill fanboy that just the name alone keeps it out of F tier. Because, I can't see the name Silent Hill next to fucking Escape Room.
Yeah.
At least it's next to Resident Evil, which is also a game. All right. The
fuck.
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh god, low
Look,
D.
I've not seen, but anything that's Sleepy Hollow, anything. Look, Sleepy Hollow, kind of trash.
The only good thing from the Sleepy Hollow movie is Christopher Walken being a very confused headless horseman.
Yeah.
You see his head and he has like these fangs just like
So yeah, I've not seen it, so I
it's-
can't judge, but I don't have high expectations.
They're talking about Dylan being in tight latex again.
Oh, God
Oh,
damn it,
yeah.
bonk. I need to have a bonk sound effect for when people are being horny.
We need a bonk emote, honestly. Like, we just need to get some more
Yeah.
emotes.
Smiley, easy F tier.
A
It's
bit.
YouTuber horror.
It's bad. It's pretty bad.
It's real bad.
Oh, the original Suspiria. Fucking A.
I'm leaning towards putting. Oh, let's see.
I am biased more towards the original because I love Argento, but
Mhm.
the remake is also really good.
I think both of them could be either A or B.
Okay.
I'd be satisfied with either case.
All right.
And we
I'll
do
be
know
honest,
a friend
I
of
don't
ours
think I've
who
seen it.
loves the remake, who
Huh.
fucking adores it.
I'm gonna go with both of them in B.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, look, there's the remake right next to it.
Yep.
There we go. Okay.
Because both of them very fascinating, very interesting. I think that one could accurately criticize like elements of plot and stuff because it focuses more on nightmare
Mhm.
structure than plot structure. And I think that would be reasonable. While at the same time, boy, do they capture that nightmare essence.
Next up is the OG Wolfman.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember where. I think it was probably pretty comparable to Dracula.
That's what I'm feeling.
If I remember correctly, I didn't like it as much as I liked The Invisible Man, but it was still pretty solid.
It's a
It's been a
mid-tier
long time since
Universal,
I've
I
seen the
think.
original.
I mean, the Long Chaney Jr. Wolfman transformation is like iconic early special effects, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, no, like it's just one of those things where it's like it's kind of hard for it to rise up.
It's enjoyable for what it is, but you know.
The Boy. Don't think I've heard
The
of this one.
boy. I don't know shit about this.
Yeah, neither do
I
I.
can't
I
remember.
don't think I've ever heard of it.
Neither have I.
Oh, The Craft. Oomph.
The Craft.
I also don't think I've ever heard of The Craft.
Neither
Oh,
have
The
I.
Craft is, if you've seen, oh god, it was an awakening for child Dylan.
I do see some very goth skirts. So
Oh god, The Craft is great. The Craft is great. It is your standard care for what you wish for, but it's fucking hell.
all right, with a lot of hot goth girls.
Yeah.
I
One in particular that inspired me to ruin my life.
Okay, next up, The Mist.
Ooh.
This is a good movie that I never want to see again because my god, did the ending fucking drain me.
Does it make it up to A, or is it in B category?
I might be confusing The Mist with The Fog. Does The Mist end with the military shooting everyone?
No.
No.
Okay, that was The Fog.
The Mist has one of like
The most harrowing
best
endings. Yeah.
of cinema, I would argue, weirdly.
I think
because,
it's A. Simply due to like it
yeah,
is
and it explores some fascinating themes of tribalism and religion, which you know your boy's into. Great premise. I love a good limited location, and delightful monsters. So yeah, weirdly, I wouldn't have expected to put this into A, but think about it, I think it deserves it.
like it's one of those movies that I think everybody should watch. But I don't think you should ever watch more than once.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, fair, yeah.
Because watching it a second time with knowing how it ends is just, you're gonna ruin your night. You're gonna ruin your
Yeah.
night. Like, it's very much a oh god, what's that other movie that ruins people's days when you watch it?
Hey, I'm sure we'll run into plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, The Purge.
The original Purge wasn't as bad.
All right, okay, The Purge. I think obviously the premise is basically the reason why it's a franchise, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone just wants to kill people.
It's a premise
it
that you
appeals
can
that
do quite a
little-
bit with. I
Mhm.
don't think they do a ton. C or D.
I'm
Yeah.
putting it in D. I
Yeah,
have
that's
a
fine.
passionate hatred for this franchise.
Fair.
It makes me so angry. Like, because
Yeah,
I've seen a couple of them, and every time it's like, well, how do you justify that this happened in the first place? And it's like, oh, it just did.
Yeah.
Which
I think the original was the one where they touched upon why the least, and that's probably why. I enjoy
Ozzy
it
says
more.
AOT is better than Scream. Ozzy, I love and respect you. You might get banned with that.
Let's see.
Signs.
Timeout.
It's been too long since I've seen the Signs, and so I do not feel
I think
like I'm able to accurately say anything about it.
Of Shyamalan's films, which 90% are pretty fucking bad. Of Shyamalan's films, I would say Signs is maybe his second or third best. Simply due to the fact that there's at least some, like, family stuff and, like, some character stuff and such. That's something. I don't think it's a great movie by any means,
No.
but I don't
I
think it's,
wouldn't even
like...
say it's a good movie, but it has good moments.
Yeah, like, there are some iconic moments that are incredibly quotable. So I think,
Low
like...
C for me. I
Yeah,
think.
like, the highs of it are good, but the lows of it are Shyamalan. So...
What?
Yeah.
No. Fucking Mark Wahlberg. God. He's the worst part of everything aside from the movies and with The Rock.
Is Signs horror? Yes, it is, technically.
Yeah.
Technically. The Vivitch.
The Witch.
Oh.
Oh God, yes.
This is an A tier for me, I think.
High A.
It's a contender for S, but I'm willing to put it in A.
Honestly, if you're willing to put it in S, I will too. But
Dost thou like the taste of butter? I think we do.
no.
It is...
You know that your boy is gonna love when there's religious fuckery explored in a really fantastic and fascinating way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, like, the ambiguity of the whole film is great as well.
Yeah, I vibe with it. I vibe with it.
Oh, that's the remake of 13 Ghosts.
Yeah. I have not seen
One of my
it.
favorite.
I also
One
have
of my
not
favorite-
seen it.
One of my favorite haunted house roles. I was the jackal. I was wearing a cage and a straitjacket.
Yeah.
That was right out of there. It's fun. It also has Matthew Lillard being Matthew Lillard and Tony Shalhoub.
Hell yeah.
Tremors with Kevin Bacon.
A fun B tier.
Very much. It is a B movie for the B tier.
Yeah. Like it does what it says on the tin. It has a fun dynamic to it. It's enjoyable. Yeah, a perfect B tier, like the epitome of a B tier.
Yeah. I'm gonna skip the prelude for this one. The Van Helsing movie. I hated it.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
I haven't seen it, so I trust you.
Yeah,
There's
like,
nothing redeeming about it.
no, like, the best you could do is a hate watch to point out all the dumb things that are, and, like, on this list, I can't get any higher than that. Like, that is...
Yeah, no.
The
Wicker
however,
Man remake with Nick Cage.
yeah, speaking of movies that are quite dumb,
I have not seen the remake, so I am unfamiliar.
I don't think it's a good movie, I'll be honest with you. It's iconic for how stupid it is at times, but I don't think it's a good movie.
High D, low C, I would say, but I could push it really anywhere below
I'll put it
C.
mid D. That's the best I can
Right.
do, especially since it gave us not the B's.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, look, another one. World War Z.
God.
Easy F. Easy fucking F.
Yep.
I've not seen it, but I know that apparently, like, it has just such a fantastic book that the movie isn't.
It was so goddamn. Ew, I was so pissed when that movie came out.
Shaun, you were a fan of the book, right?
I well, here's the thing. I watched the movie, didn't like the movie, then I read the book and was even more pissed.
The Aragon effect.
Yes. All right, Zombieland.
It's been a really long time since I saw Zombieland.
But I distinctly remember really enjoying it.
Yeah,
it was
when I
good,
saw it,
dumb fun.
I enjoyed it. I guess I'm willing to put it in anywhere B or C. But it's not a confident.
I'd say like high C.
Yeah, I think C, because like it's not like, as far as horror movies go,
It's
a
not
comedy.
what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, no, like we're thinking about the goofs, and we're thinking about a man desperately trying to get Twinkies.
Yeah, all I remember is Twinkies.
Oh, hey, look, it's Dylan the movie, The Lost Boys.
I've not seen, unfortunately.
Oh, you've not?
I've not.
Dylan, you've seen it, right?
Seen it. It's a B.
Yeah.
It is not. It is a fun. I don't know. Some parts of it just make me a little grumpy in retrospect, but Lost Boys is still good fun.
I mean, look, that can happen when you look into a mirror, Dylan. It's okay.
Okay, first of all.
Okay.
Coraline.
Coraline.
Oh, hell yeah. A.
Oh, on a horror list, it's a bit weird.
It's a bit weird.
On a horror list, yeah.
I want to put it in A. Still.
I think I'm going to put it in low A because, yeah, it's a bit weird for horror, but it is very traumatizing to kids.
God, just the visuals. The visuals, it's something special. Genuinely, anything in the A or S tier, it's basically like, hey, that's something special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
S is just above and beyond for us. Speaking of S, the original Alien.
Speaking of S, yes.
Yeah, I'm down to put it in S.
You can't not. This is my favorite. This is one of my favorite movies in general.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Like, it doesn't need much explanation. It is what made it is probably it is a contender for the best sci-fi horror movie, I think. That and another one that'll probably be on this list, and if it's not, I'm gonna kill somebody. But Angel's Egg.
I've never heard
of that.
Not a clue. Not a clue. A Quiet Place.
Fucking A Quiet Place.
There's a weird backlash that has happened to A Quiet Place.
Which
I vibe with it.
I don't know if I understand the backlash personally.
I just never enjoyed it, but that may have been due to, at least related to who I was dating at the time. I was dating a sign language teacher.
Yes.
And there was a lot of nitpicky about the aspects of it. So
I'm gonna give it A tier for one reason.
Is it our movie date?
Yeah, Shaun and I saw it in theaters together, and I'm gonna level with everybody. All right, Shaun and I are not great to be together in a movie theater. We're not the worst. We're not the worst.
Oh, we're not the best.
You know,
it's let's just say
like banter and commentary, okay? And it'll be hushed, but it's gonna happen. But we didn't feel it was right while watching A Quiet Place because it was so goddamn quiet, and so we ended up with just our own version of sign language and to create commentary and banter with each other, and it was genuinely hysterical. The shit we would somehow be able to communicate and like laugh our asses off. It was one of my most memorable theater experiences, so I got to give it A.
Yeah, no, and I think the movie. I think the people who are backlashing at it
talking during the Quiet movie. No, we deliberately didn't talk during the Quiet movie.
Yeah, we tried not to. And the sign language for Rocket Ship was our "oh shit, things are about to go fucking wrong" sign.
And we still use the rocket ship soaring upwards hand gesture to just mean either like they just did something stupid, or they're fucked, or it's about to get rough.
Yeah,
like.
I remember during when I was watching The Quiet Place, I was with my girlfriend. There was a guy 2 rows behind. It was dead silent. And then there was a jump scare where a child was killed or something. And this dude behind just yells, "Holy shit!" And it
so
was
good.
Fucking hilarious.
It was such a unique theater experience, I think.
The original Nightmare.
Neil Gaiman is just disappointing. You're just wrong. Favorite horror movie, Shining. That's reasonable.
That's the original
Banter
Nightmare on
is
Elm
great.
Street.
We love banter.
Fuck. God damn.
I mean it's beer A.
A.
It's one of the best slashers of the like proper slashers of the classic slashers. Especially like it's already playing with the formula. It's well structured. It's unique and different.
Yeah. And the sequel gets so much unwarranted hate because it is actually a really good look into an adolescent actually discovering their sexuality through the medium of horror.
Oh, the gay one?
Yeah, the gay one.
I have not watched the gay one. I just know that it is gay.
Yeah. That's the important thing. But yeah, no, I agree. The OG Nightmare is phenomenal. There are definitely some things that don't visually stand up these days. I'm thinking of the final scare of the movie, the doll being dragged through the window, if you recall.
Yeah, but at the same time, a lot of the effects and scares do still stand up, and that's impressive.
yeah, like the fucking pool of blood
shooting onto the ceiling,
shooting out is still beautiful.
It is so good. I love how they did that effect too. They built a whole fucking room and tilted it. It was amazing. But okay. Oh, ooh, Annabelle.
I've not seen.
Have you seen any of the Conjuring movies, Rem?
I have seen The Conjuring, and I think I saw The Conjuring 2 ages ago. The only one I can remember is the Conjuring though. So.
There is no substance to it. It is just your generic supernatural horror.
It's pretty bad. Like I'll put it at the top of F because like if you want it in the background, maybe, but like it is. Oh god, just the distant meow I heard.
That's real good.
As above, so below.
Ooh, B or A for me. I like.
Okay, I'm fine with it being like high B, low A.
I think I'm gonna say B for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's
like a high B, a high B. I just don't think it has quite the chutzpah to be an A for me.
Okay. I think it does some fun shit, and obviously like the setting I think is really strong.
Yeah. Okay, The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I don't think I've ever heard of this one.
I don't remember that. I know I've seen it.
This one's real good, folks. This one's real good.
Okay. Then where would you put it, Remington? I'll go purely on your judgment.
There's a temptation. Let's do A. I think it deserves A.
Okay.
It had some dope shit. Like,
so you're saying me and Dylan need to watch it?
I would highly recommend it. I think you guys would vibe with it. It has strong setting, really good suspense building and scares. Like,
I know, I like technically saw it, but I was on a date, so I didn't really see it.
You guys should go on a date with each other and watch that goddamn movie.
I mean, the last movie date me and Dylan went on, we watched Evil Dead together, which was pretty good.
Well, next one you do Autopsy of Jane Doe.
All right. Black Swan. Is this a horror movie?
It's a psychological. Yeah,
I'd say it's a horror movie.
I guess. I guess it is kind of like an idol horror movie type of thing.
And also, it does the cuticle thing. Cuticle thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it into A tier. It is the non-anime Perfect Blue. It like.
Well, since you mentioned that,
there is actually a non-anime Perfect Blue, Remington.
Yeah. I will I will also bring up Perfect Blue is on here, and I'm gonna put that up in A. I'm gonna put that up in A tier as well.
Honestly, I think Perfect Blue. It might be S tier.
I'm fine with it being an S tier. Okay. I was putting it in A tier because I thought I'd get some bite back.
No, I think that Perfect Blue. It's either high A or I'm down to.
Rem, if you bring up S of an anime movie, I'm gonna put it in S. Like that's just the way it goes.
I may or may not be working on something related to Perfect Blue, and
okay. Well, there we go.
Alrighty.
All right. Okay. Cabin in the Woods. Okay, we know where this is going.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
Minimum.
It's so good.
Fucking minimum. It is. We did a whole episode. We did a whole episode on this for 12 Days of April Fools.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
It's fucking amazing. Love this movie. It's S tier for some.
Check our posture and stretch, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Doing both. But yeah.
Wait, Rem putting anime in S tier. I know. Look, I don't feel great about it either, weebs.
But of the 2 anime movies on this list, one is an A, one is an S. Folks, that should tell you something. All right. Cannibal Holocaust?
Fucking
Okay.
F for the animal cruelty alone.
If I'm trying to be like a little bit more objective, I'm willing to give it a D, because when I watched it, it was surprisingly competently done and genuinely extremely influential for found footage, right? But also, it can't get higher than a low D because it is exploitative both to animals and like
And people.
tribal people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna put it in F just on principle then. Just on
Yeah.
principle.
Yeah. Fair.
Like, I do think it has a surprising level of quality to it, but god damn, man.
Yeah. The original Child's Play.
Probably C.
Yeah.
It has merit to it. It can be a fun, stupid time,
Yeah.
but I don't think that it's
As far as horror
amazingly
movies go.
constructed.
Yeah.
Yeah. In regards to
It's
horror,
one
fair.
where it was better than I thought in that it wasn't actively bad, but it also wasn't great.
All right, Clockwork Orange.
I've not seen it.
Oh, A for me. I fucking love Clockwork Orange.
I think it's an A as well, unfortunately.
I've had it recommended plenty of times. Been told I really should watch it. Just
I
haven't
mean,
gotten
yeah,
around to it.
you would jive
The
with
book
it.
the book is like 150 pages. You can
I've read the
it in an
book.
afternoon. Oh, there you go.
I read the book, and man, what a wild experience that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Conjuring 2. That's.
I saw Conjuring 2 before I saw Conjuring 1, but that means that 1, I can't remember anything. I just remember it started me joking about the guy and calling him Will or not.
Yeah. I think it's better than Annabelle, but not much.
Sure.
The whole franchise is Garbo.
Oh, Crimson Peak.
It feels weird. We'll get to the Conjuring. We'll find the Conjuring because it's weird
Yeah,
to rate the sequel
where?
before.
Okay, Conjuring. It would help if I remembered what the Conjuring looked like.
It's got a tree on it, probably.
Yeah.
Beigey.
There it is, Shaun. It's next to The Descent.
There it is. Yeah.
Above Underworld. There you go.
I think The Conjuring is the best of the series.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put it at a C tier.
Yeah.
I basically think The Conjuring, it's the horror equivalent of like a Marvel movie.
Yes.
Where it
100%. Yes.
Very commercialized. It does the fundamentals, right? It has the polish. It has the ingredients. It doesn't do anything particularly special with them. It is, but it's like, hey, here we go. This is how you make a good enough horror.
Yeah.
And we will do nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have it doesn't have anything special about it, but it does everything competent.
It's like it watched The Exorcist once and was like, I could probably do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, you did everything. You got the fundamentals. It just feels like you're doing it for the money, though.
Yeah.
I don't feel the heart.
Crimson Peak is gorgeous. It's a Guillermo del Toro flick. It's not good, but
I've not seen it, so I do not know.
I would put it like mid C. It is beautiful, but it was dumb and incestuous.
Hey, like a lot of anime.
I don't like incest in movies. It just gets me wrong.
And yet you do an anime podcast. Interesting.
Oh God, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. Dark Water.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I. Sounds scary.
For a moment I thought Dark Floors, and Dark Floors is a horror film based on a band, which is.
I'm also unfamiliar with the next one.
What's the
Dead Silence?
God, fucking D.
Yeah,
Maybe
I've never seen it, so I can't really comment.
It's just dumb ventriloquist. It's
Dr. Sleep. I haven't seen this.
I haven't seen that one yet. I need to.
So here's the thing. First of all, it's my boy Mike Flanagan. If there's any other Mike Flanagan, you'll hear me rant because God, I love Mike Flanagan so fucking much.
Right.
I adore Mike Flanagan. He is just there to create things for me.
Yeah.
It's an A tier. Now here's the impressive thing, all right? And I'm gonna try to sell you guys on this.
Okay, because like I will put it here in A tier, but you do have to justify it.
So it is a sequel to The Shining, right? A standalone sequel, but a sequel. Now, one of the questions you may reasonably ask, okay, does it try to be a sequel to the book or the movie? Because those are different things. Both have merit, but they're different things. And the answer is the wildly ambitious both. Which is a recipe for fucking disaster, and yet somehow Flanagan fucking nails it. Somehow Flanagan succeeds in merging them together to create a sequel to both, but without, like, if you haven't read or if you haven't watched The Shining, you won't feel excluded. It has solid performances, including like well done child actors. I think it could have, like, I would personally want a little bit more horror elements out of it, and I'm gonna level with you. It is, especially if you watch the director's cut, it's 3 hours long, it's lengthy, but it's enjoyable that whole time. That's an A tier. My boy Flanagan don't miss.
I have one important question, Rem.
Yep.
Is the carpet there?
You're damn right the carpet is there.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's
I
important.
mean, I'm gonna involve the carpet in my fucking horror sleeve.
Yeah, just got it.
Hey,
That's.
Rem, do you know the racist origins of zombies? I do. I've studied horror and the sociology of horror. Yes.
Yep.
Oh
God. Okay, so
no.
Who's Mike Flanagan?
No.
Mike Flanagan is one of the best horror directors of our goddamn time. Google him. Watch all of his shit.
Remington, have you ever seen Don't Breathe?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, the blind guy. Yeah. So
Cum syringe.
yeah. So this movie, me and Dylan watched it together. We were not fans. We were not.
So we thought it was going to be a silly, fun little horror film, and my then fiance, who also worked at the Haunt with y'all, we all went together.
Yeah. Let me tell you, third wheeling that particular date was a little awkward.
Yeah.
Have sex for 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
I think I low C or mid to high D.
Yeah,
I think it does some interesting stuff, but I don't think it does them exceptionally well.
I think with my biases, I'd put it in D.
Yeah, let's put it in D.
Yeah, just because, like, gang, you don't know what it's like watching a horror movie with your two friends, two of which happen to be dating at the time, and then the man pulls out a cum syringe. Like, it is not an experience I recommend people go through. Like, thankfully, I was sat on the side, but like, if I'd been between the two, I was like, this is an awkward sandwich.
I think I audibly gagged during that moment.
You did.
Fucking Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko.
I have not seen Donnie Darko.
Neither have I.
You would actually enjoy Donnie Darko, I think.
It's been recommended to me.
Yeah.
No, it is mid B, I feel.
All right, Drag Me to Hell.
Sam Raimi having some fun.
I don't know if I've seen this one.
I haven't.
It's high C for me. It's
okay.
It's fun. It's not great. It is good fun though.
Yeah, not to show bias or anything, but for you, Dylan. But since you're small, if you've seen it and the both of us haven't, it'll
that's fair. That's completely valid.
But I still want to hear your ranking of it, just so you're.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is basically like Shaun and Rem's ranking with Dylan as like a tiebreaker, more or less.
Just some commentary.
Speaking
the
of
Elvira movie.
Yeah.
I've not seen the Elvira movie.
I mean, yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
of course you two have. Of course you two have.
Look, listen. You know, there are plenty of good reasons to watch the Elvira movie. I've think of
my Elvira pants hanging up.
You can think of two big reasons right off the bat. I'm sure, Shaun.
Yeah, two very big reasons.
Elvira is fun. She has fun with the whole thing. She does what Vampira like pioneered. She perfected it.
I'm gonna put it at bottom of B because
it's not a horror film.
No. Look, Elvira is the reason it's here. That's the reason.
Oh, fuck.
Eraserhead.
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, you want some weird as fuck artsy nonsense? Well, I'm your boy.
Yep.
Watch Eraserhead while stoned off your ass at 2 a.m.
Oh, don't do that.
No, that's a bad idea. Are you crazy?
That is how I first watched it. It was a terrible, terrible time.
I want to put it in A, but I think that for most other people, it would be reasonable to put it in like a B.
I think
so. I'm willing for it to go a step down, but it's personally an A.
All right, I think B is appropriate for it because it's one of those movies that if you're not into what it's offering, you're probably gonna hate it.
Big semen and a 9-month premature baby.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you not prepared for that? Are you
Nobody's
not
prepared for that.
prepared for the crippling bleak reality of life hitting you too fast and sudden fatherhood that you are wildly ill-equipped for?
No. Moving on. We've got two different Evil Deads here. I don't know what the difference between the two
One's
is.
the 2016 remake. The one with the blue is the original.
Okay. All
Or the
right.
2012 remake.
Okay, Dylan, I'm actually gonna have your input on this because I can't. I know that Evil Dead 2 is much better.
The original Evil Dead, I would say, is a high B.
Okay.
I'm gonna level with you. The Evil Deads have kind of merged in my brain,
Yeah.
and so I am not
That's my issue.
I think
That's
adequately able to.
It is one of like the practical effects of the original Evil Dead are, especially for a fucking college student, beyond compare.
I'm down to throw them both in B.
yeah.
The 2016 remake, yeah, I'd put it below the original, but it still belongs in B. I feel.
All right.
I remember. I think I saw that with Shaun in the theater.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
And I remember it being generally enjoyable, though once again the details are muddy for me.
Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there, gang.
Yeah,
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
I've never fucking heard of that shit.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. I
Ditto.
don't care much for exorcism movies aside from like the original Exorcist.
Yep. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Body Snatchers.
The original, I assume.
Yeah, the OG.
I'm down to throw it into a B tier, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe C tier because it's older, but
yeah, I think high C because like it definitely shows its age.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
And like the allegories for for not obviously aliens.
Yeah. I think it captures the atmosphere very well, but yeah, it has its flaws.
Okay, Final Destination. We've got to be brutally honest.
Is fair.
Probably
C.
High D. I think C because I think that it is a really interesting and fun premise. The fact that it's able to use the deaths in interesting and inventive ways, I think, is fun.
It did traumatize a whole generation to be afraid of getting on a plane.
Yeah, so I think C in the category of fun. It ain't no masterpiece.
Yeah. Are there any other Final Destinations on this list that I can just? Because the rest of them are hot garbo. Like, I don't see any.
No, don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. The OG Friday the 13th.
I'd say probably a C.
Okay.
Well, probably in a similar category to Final Destination, if I'm being honest, where it's like, look, it's trashy fun.
Yeah.
It's probably like quality wise the worst of the classic slashers
of like their original movies, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but but it's still enjoyable for what it is.
Yeah, no, and it's still fun.
I mean, they went the entire film until the very last moment without even showing a silhouette of the killer. I think good on them for that.
I mean, the twist of who the killer is a pretty solid one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. When I watched it, I didn't know that twist. And I was like, how have I not heard this all this time? And if anything, I think it needs to be emphasized further, all right?
Yeah, it's great.
More mommy slashers.
Hey, I'm here for it. Okay, here's one. Get Out.
Look, I'm tempted to just throw this in S tier, if I'm being honest.
That's fine.
I would say high A, but I could be pushed to S, yeah.
Look, it traumatized me a little bit when I watched it.
It's so well done. It is so thoughtfully written and considered. It explores its themes in multifaceted ways where it's not just like, hey, the horror is racism. It's like, no, there's so many layers to how these people are interacting and how it engages with like history and social context. And it's like, ooh. So yeah, I think as well as just being an enjoyable and fun horror film, I think it deserves an S.
Yeah, and I will also point out that these S's are in no particular order.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm not
Right.
even gonna try to put them in any order.
No, with S's, I don't think it's possible.
The S's, and even to a large extent the A's, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
they're
like-
just they're all real good. All right,
Like
they're all real
I've
good.
put them in there on vibes alone. Like that's how
Yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah.
organized them. The Green Inferno.
I do not know the Green Inferno.
Neither do I.
The name sounds familiar. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I don't feel like
Green
I-
Inferno, 2013 film. Oh God, it's Eli Roth.
Oh yeah, no. So it's have not seen and potentially F. Cool.
Yeah.
The OG Gremlins.
Oh, fucking love the original.
I
Gremlins.
watched
Gremlins 2 is
this-
better, but
All right, so the Gremlins, first of all, it traumatized me when I was very young.
Yep.
Because I like extremely young, and my family's like, "Oh, let's watch this," and I was like, "Oh my god, I love them. They're so cute. What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But then I watched it since then for like the first time in a long while. I think it's a C tier, but it does some fun stuff.
Okay.
I would put it in a similar category to like to a Final Destination and to even like a Child's Play, right? Child's Play,
Okay.
I think is actually a good parallel where it's
Yeah.
it's stupid and dumb, but it has its enjoyable moments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gremlins 2, on the
I
other
agree
hand,
with
is fucking
Spiffy. It gets a
fantastic.
nostalgic S, but a realistic C.
The sequel, on the other hand, is just fucking killer. That is Halloween 2018. It looks like.
I think
Yeah.
so. Rewatching Gremlins, the thing that hit me with it was like the tonal inconsistency, right?
Oh yeah.
Because and it seems not always to be deliberate. There's a now pretty notorious monologue about why Christmas is tough for some people, and a weird offhanded comment about a girl slitting her wrists. And it's like taken. Some people are like, "Oh, this is dark comedy," and I'm like, "It is not played as dark comedy. That is played as extremely serious and somber, and it's real weird. It's very strange. I think if it knew what it was, it would have been better."
All right. Next up is Halloween 2018, which is that the Rob Zombie one or is that the
No, that Rob Zombies was 2009.
that's
I have
right.
not seen the new Halloween.
That one is. It's better than the one that came after it. It's.
I think it's
The
a
original
C.
Halloween, I would say, is.
We're
like
not
a high
talking about that.
B.
We're talking about
No,
this one.
yeah, that one
I think it's
low
a C.
C, maybe
Yeah.
even high D. It's
Just because
Yeah.
like it's better than I think it's better than what Rob Zombie did, but that's because
yeah.
what Rob
And it
Zombie
did reference Ben Tramer's death, which wasn't referenced in any of the other fucking Halloween films.
But talking to John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
is.
go with a B, a respectable,
Respectable B.
good B.
I'd say high B.
I think so. I think that's okay.
I think that
It's an A for some people,
basically-
but
yeah, I think it's a B that's kind of like risen above its station, and I'm
Yeah.
happy it has.
Yeah.
But realistically, it's a B.
like yeah. I think so. I was thinking about it for a second. I'm like, you know what? No, you're right. Okay. We've got Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2. The OG Hellraiser, for me, I think it's a perfect B movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's reasonable.
I'm disappointed. I'd say it's high A, honestly.
No.
Like,
Clive Barker just resonates with me.
I
That
think-
tiny little British man. Something about him.
Yeah.
I think it gets real messy in like the final act,
Yeah.
and that it's not like it doesn't stick the landing.
mhm.
If it stuck the landing perfectly, then there's a good chance.
Yeah, and that's like I'm not saying I don't love this movie. I love this movie.
Oh yeah, it
But,
also
like-
feels like there's some budget issues at times,
Yeah.
but the concept as well as like the visuals, ooh, yeah. So I'm giving it a very respectable B.
And honestly,
That-
Hellraiser 2 being the direct sequel fits in really well with it. I'd say as if you just watch them in a row, it's really good.
Yeah,
and
but
also,
I still think
the-
as a
the
sequel,
Dead
it's
Mom is-
still lesser. You know?
Wisnog, we love and appreciate you as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us in this very unorthodox stream of ours.
as we are just deep in discussions on horror films.
Look, they didn't want us to make a horror podcast. This is the next best thing.
yeah.
But yeah, I
For
will
now.
also because like have you seen the sequel, Rem?
I've not, no.
Okay, yeah, no, because I agree with Dylan. Like it's I think the way I've spaced it out on the list is I think about the quality shift.
Fair.
Like it's like in the same bracket, but there's something about OGs versus sequels, you know?
Yep, I get you.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey, Rem, it's our favorite, Hereditary.
Oh, all right, throw it into D. Throw it into D.
Yep. Yeah, I'll put it as a high D, but
Possibly our hottest take. No, mid D. Mid D.
Okay.
Don't mid D. It doesn't deserve
between
high D.
Nosferatu and Wicker Man.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Look, it's just it is.
It has one
possibly
scary scene in the whole movie.
I personally think that this is the most overrated horror movie of all time.
Yeah.
And I've looked through the list of like, oh, here's the best horror movies of all time. And this was easily the one I disagreed with its placement the most, and
Yep.
consistently so. So yeah, it's a D. It has cool ideas. It could do a lot of cool shit. It has cool moments, and it fucks it. It fucks it hard.
Yeah, like it doesn't fully commit to anything, which is unfortunate. Because yeah, everything I've seen about this movie has been nothing but high praise. And when me and Rem walked out of the theater,
With the whole group, we had a group of friends, and we all started talking shit about it because we were like, "Wow, that was a bad movie." And then meanwhile, I go away from the group for a minute, right? And I look up some reviews, and I was incapable of finding a single negative review.
I did find one when we were there, and I was like, his points are a bit off. And then I looked at what else he rated negatively. I was like, oh, this guy's just a hater. So it didn't didn't go well. It didn't go well.
Like everybody else who was reasonable for some reason adores this movie. It's bad. It's trash. It's trash.
Yeah.
We've got hats, by the way, and AJ's now in chat.
Hello, AJ. Aha.
Yeah, basically it's like,
wait,
it's
no,
Hereditary the worst movie. No, it's not the worst. Is it a bad movie that is seen as one of the single best of our time? Yes. Why?
There we go. This is a more appropriate hat for the situation.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Yes, sorry. Next up is The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh,
I have not
crying
seen it.
out loud, both the original and the remake.
I've not seen either.
Any objections, Dylan?
Eh.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Ooh-wee.
Oh, Hostel. Oy.
Hostel. I haven't seen this one.
It is gore porn.
Oh,
It's
so
not
I also
good.
have not seen it.
So I probably
You
would
get
put
to
it.
see someone whose eyeball has been torched out of their skull, look in a mirror and see the damage, and then cut it off with a pair of scissors.
Ooh.
No thanks.
It's gore porn.
No thanks.
Eh.
Hush.
Ooh, baby.
Something tells
All
me
right.
you're a fan.
All right.
Is that the deaf woman one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So wait. So it's fucking Don't Breathe, but different and good, is what you're saying.
Now here's the thing. I loved Hush before I knew its director. But do you know who its director is? It's Mike goddamn Flanagan, baby. And what's great, Mike Flanagan, known for amazing dialogue and character exploration through that. Through Hush, he decides, hey, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to do very low levels of dialogue and still create something dope. Either very high B or A tier, because it is dope. I vibe with this. I think the premise is so creative, and I think that it sticks the landing.
Yeah.
Like, it
By the
does
way,
the premise well. And it
Cheshire
has
Cat in
such...
chat wants to know what the anime movie in S is, and it is Perfect Blue.
Yeah, Perfect
Blue. Don't watch it if you want to be happy for the rest of the night.
Hush, it has such a great scene in the nonchalant unmasking. It's such a good moment. It's such a good moment.
I feel like I've seen it, but I can't recall.
You've seen
Rewatch it,
promos
coward.
for it on Netflix because there was a period of an entire year where it was always on the front page.
That would make sense.
Go on a Mike Flanagan binge.
All right.
It's so worth it.
I will. Do you want to be invited to the Mike Flanagan binge, Remington?
Oh, dude, I'm always happy to watch Mike Flanagan. I have never been disappointed by Mike Flanagan yet, and I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm waiting for him to break my heart.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
hasn't
Hey,
happened yet.
speaking of childhood trauma, Watership Down.
Jesus Christ!
I don't even know how to rate this one
I
here,
don't
man.
think I don't think you
Holy
can.
shit.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's
Da-da-da-da.
just it's such. Come on, it's not a horror movie. It's a horrific movie. And it has quality.
There we
Just
go.
I don't.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't know what it's doing here, man. It's a wild ride.
Yeah.
But hot
Yeah.
damn, it is.
Yep.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's not a horror movie. It's a horrific movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a movie.
Whew. Traumatizing as a child though. Inferno.
Yeah. I am unfamiliar.
Same.
Doesn't ring a bell.
All
Okay.
right, scrap it.
Oh
Insidious.
God, Insidious. Fucking low D.
I'm probably C.
Really?
I would say C as
Oh.
well.
Uh,
The whole franchise as a whole is a D.
It's been a while since I've seen it, and I might be swayed to D, but
like it is so neutral as a horror movie. Like it has like a similar vibe to Conjuring for me, if that makes sense.
I'm giving it a non-committal C. That I if you threw it lower, I wouldn't be offended.
Okay. Well, in that case, Dylan, would it make you very happy if I put it in D?
I'm indifferent. I hate the Insidious films. They're so fucking vapid.
All right, let's throw it in
Anyway.
D.
All right. It Follows. I wanted this to be better.
Are you talking about the second most overrated horror movie of our time?
Okay, good. You agree. Okay, fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's horror chlamydia.
It could have done so much. It could have like really explored the gravity of this and explored its themes a lot more, but it is and even like some of the shots are cool. It is one amazing moment, and that's tall guy coming down the hallway.
Yes.
Tall guy coming down the hallway is dope as fuck, but it's a D. It's a D. It's not good.
Yeah. We'll give it a low D since it's the second, since it's after Hereditary is second most overrated. Also, hey, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Insidious and Conjuring were both directed by James Wan.
Yeah,
that
that checks out.
All right.
Hey, the It films.
I've not seen the original It.
I have. It has not aged well.
Yeah,
Tim Curry is wonderful.
You've got Tim Curry. That's your good thing.
But genuinely, yeah, like
yeah,
it's so boring. It's so boring.
Like mid-state.
Meanwhile, New It, I'm thinking A tier.
Yeah, the first part.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for It Part 1. Once again, I think another one Shaun and I saw together in theaters.
Yeah.
Look how cute we are.
Yep.
We
like watching horror.
Yeah, it captures the vibes so well. It explores the characters and establishes them so strong. You have fantastic child actors playing their roles very well.
It's much more cleanly, like, it's easy to understand where it's going compared to the first, to the original miniseries.
Yeah, like I think that it chapter 2, maybe we'll end up talking about that in a minute. That obviously has a dip in quality, but it chapter 1, ooh baby, that's a solid, respectable A tier.
Yeah, my only complaint I think with it chapter 1 is they needed to cool it on some of the background music.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
Like the soundtrack itself was very prominent throughout a lot of it, which
that's a very modern thing with horror, unfortunately.
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get those peepers?
I've not seen it.
Neither have I. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Like I'm familiar with it.
I don't remember the first one. I remember the second, and the second one was.
Shit.
Right.
What's the name of this movie? Fuck.
Is that?
Ju-on?
Yeah, that looks like Ju-on.
Yes. I think that's what that is. It's been a long fucking time since I've seen it, so I don't know if I have any opinions on it.
I'm gonna go. It could be either C or B for me.
I think I'll vote B on it.
All right, yeah, I'm down to throw it in B then.
I'll put it above Elvira.
I think it does some like really creative stuff.
Yeah.
The plot is it quickly gets confused with itself,
Mhm.
which, hey, non-linear storytelling can be really cool, but you know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
Okay, here's an interesting one that I don't know if it qualifies as a horror
Not a
movie.
horror
I've
film.
not
Yeah,
seen it, so
9. It's fun, but, like, it's not really a horror film. I think it goes in Watership Down tier.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a horror film. It's
yeah,
Tim
put it with
Burton little
Watership Down.
animated Sackboy Adventures.
Yeah, like,
Isn't
I'm sure it
Mandy like now in theaters? Hold on.
No, Mandy's been out for a while.
Okay, I'm thinking, what's the fucking ballerina vampire one?
I do not know.
I do not know, and I have not seen this movie. Have either of you?
Yes,
What are your
I
thoughts?
think probably high B. I could see an argument for even like an A, but I'm thinking B because it has a very specific vision about what it is, right?
Okay.
Where it is like, this is exactly what I'm trying to be, and you're like, oh, that is weird, and then it nails that. It is exactly it wants to be something specific and weird, and it nails being that very specific and weird thing.
By the
Okay.
way, the movie was Abigail. Was the movie I was
Oh,
thinking?
okay. So
Alright.
like on its own merits, I think an A, but in a vacuum, probably a B.
Okay. Martyrs.
Ooh.
That
Okay.
sounds familiar.
I've not seen it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I have seen it. I think that it actually is wildly fascinating. It does definitely,
Which
for a lot of
version
people,
is that? There's two. There's the 2008 and 2015 versions.
2008.
Okay.
It's the original one. I am putting it in either B or A. A lot of people would label it as torture porn, and in a certain extent, yes, but also that's kind of extremely relevant to the themes that it explores.
So, like,
Like,
it's actually part of it rather than just
yeah,
existing to get shock value.
there's a lot of movies that display brutality and depravity, but this one displays it and is like, yes, and that is meaningful. That is the fact that it is here is demonstrating an active point,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. I
Okay.
I will trust your
And
judgment on that.
basically by being like, hey, what is the point of all the brutality and depravity in the movie? And it's like, haha, exactly. That is the question.
Yeah. Okay. This is another one I haven't seen, but Midsummer.
Ooh, A tier, A tier.
Yeah.
Really? Really? Okay. I'll let you have that.
Well, what are your
Told you.
thoughts, Dylan? What?
I
Why?
would put it in C, honestly. There were moments that I really enjoyed it, but the rest of the time it felt too Ari Aster.
I think that's fair, but just with the visuals, I can see, especially like putting it high B, but you got a
Yeah.
dope ass cult with some nice brutal scenes. I think a lot of people, I
It's a
dislike
much
how a lot
better
of
take on
people,
Wicker Man.
yeah.
Okay.
And
I
it actually
dislike
has
how
meaning.
a lot of people interpret this movie, because a lot of people weirdly interpret it as a girl boss movie, and
Oh,
if that
hey.
is your interpretation, you have
That's a
fucked
little
it.
fucked up.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you have wildly missed the mark on it. Like, is there some interesting thoughts on like female empowerment and stuff? Yeah, and it's a lot more nuanced and messy than
Like, yeah,
a girl
taking
boss
back your
moment.
power, sure, but
yeah.
So
And
I could see an argument for high B, but I'm leaning towards an
isn't
A.
it also the better film? Isn't this film also by the guy who did Hereditary, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, and it's so much better.
Okay. Yeah. I should watch it then. I should watch it. All right. Next up
I
is
would say like Hereditary is to perhaps Rosemary's Baby as Midsommar is to Wicker Man. Not necessarily in quality, but just in like
vibes.
revitalizing
Okay.
the vibes and themes of a classic.
Copy. Okay. Mother.
Ooh, all right. I have some thought. Have you ever seen this one, Sean?
I have not.
is this the one that's based on the true story?
No, this one is the one that's
Okay.
based on the Bible.
Of
Okay.
course, you would have seen a movie like that.
It is fascinating. I'm gonna give it a C tier.
Ooh.
I
Okay.
I think it goes for some big swings, and I think that's interesting. And I don't think it sticks the landing. I think I like what it wants to be more than I like it.
Okay. Cabin Fever.
Have I seen
Fantastic
Cabin
fun
Fever?
effects. That is dumb as shit.
I don't think I've seen Cabin
Can't say
Fever.
that I
It
have either.
was Eli Roth was stuck with dysentery over a summer and wrote a horror film.
That's funny as
It
fuck.
Okay, all right.
is. It has a really good scene with a razor.
All right.
That's yeah.
Now this is another movie that we're all
It's
familiar
not
with.
a horror film. There's nothing horror about it. Get the fuck out of here.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I mean, it's more horror than the two we've excluded.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this, I could accept this in the
guess.
category of a Coraline, where it is horror adjacent enough that I'd be okay with rating it, while at the same time, I'm okay if we don't rate it. I'm good either way.
Yeah. I would say, well, I mean, boomers are scared of queer people, so
Yeah.
My take about Rocky Horror Picture Show is for me, I'm gonna throw it into C tier.
okay.
I like its legacy and basically how iconic it is and how influential it is, much more than what it actually is.
Oh, you've been to a Shadowcast?
I've not, no.
I need to. Y'all need to come to a Shadowcast with me. It's
I
fucking
think
great.
that I think the movie itself, I have my personal preferences and like some major critiques of it, but all of the critiques I would give could adequately be like refuted with, yeah, but that's not what it's like trying to do. And
Yeah.
it's like, sure, that's fair and reasonable. So
And-
it's like its legacy, throw it goddamn into S. For actually like the movie itself, yeah, it's a C tier movie.
See, and I'm leaning more towards B personally.
That B gets my pull.
Yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
like I'll put it at a low B, but I just think that there's so much iconic about it that, like,
I think it is better to remember this movie than it is to watch this movie.
I don't know. The music still occasionally just goes to that. That and the music from the sequel. But no one ever talks about shock treatment.
Okay, next up is the Belladonna of Sadness.
I've never heard of Belladonna of Sadness in my
Never
goddamn
heard of
life.
that.
I have, but I don't think I've seen it. Let me double check.
I'm gonna look this up. What the fuck is it about?
It looks cool.
From 1973.
Mm-hmm.
A peasant woman is raped by the local lord on her wedding night. To take revenge, she makes a pact with the devil himself.
Hoo-wee!
So it's not exactly light
Based on
watching.
Jules Michelet's The Witch.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it, but I have heard of it. So
Got a cool cover.
Got a
We
very cool.
need to apparently watch this on the show.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Malignant.
Oh boy, I have thoughts. Have either of you two seen it? I hate Malignant.
It was so fucking dumb. I love it.
It's a pretty bad
But
movie. It's a pretty bad movie.
Here's the issue with it, all right? Because it could be just stupid, dumb fun. But if it's stupid, dumb fun, then why is it talking all about like miscarriages and how traumatic that is? Like,
It tried to make itself something it definitely was.
Yeah, it's like, what is that doing in your stupid fun movie? And so it can't be stupid dumb fun. It just ends up being stupid and bad. I'm down to put this in F, honestly.
Fair.
Like
Fair
it
enough.
is.
I'd say high end of F, but purely because the last 5 minutes. But
I can't appreciate the last 5 minutes because it just doesn't fit with the movie.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
Throw that into a Nick Cage movie, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. But for what it was, I'm like, what's going on here?
All right. Ouija.
Never seen.
I've heard weirdly good things about it, but I've also heard that
the original is trash. But you know what I've heard isn't trash? The sequel that's written and directed by your boy Mike Flanagan.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All right, so I'll put that in haven't seen. Night of the Living Dead, the original.
They're coming to get you, Clara.
Is it? I mean, right now I'm vaguely leaning towards B.
That's where I'm feeling, right? Because like,
yeah,
its theming is iconic, and it's still a pretty solid movie that holds up. But this movie isn't going to scare modern audiences.
No,
yeah.
It'll make modern audiences think, but it won't scare them.
It'll make them uncomfortable with their own legacy. Yeah.
Okay, the Crazies. I feel like this is just a fair. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
That was on a
I
pack of,
don't think I've seen
20 different horror films that I was given at one point. Just like they were all pirated and put on a single DVD, and it was. Yeah.
I watched half of it.
Yikes.
I watched half of it. I, you know, Remington, quit gaslighting people in our chat.
Like, seriously?
He's gonna start
what's
thinking that he works with you, and that's gonna be concerning. Young Frankenstein, not a horror
Not
movie.
seen it.
Not that's a
Sure.
comedy. There's
It's
not
a
even a jump scare.
it's a Mel Brooks. Like, I'm gonna put it in Watership Down, even though it's very much one of those things. It's not like the other, but it is. It's funny. It's great.
I haven't seen the next 3 after this either, so take it away.
I have seen all 3, so
I have not. The only one I have seen is Pan's Labyrinth.
I fucking love Pan's Labyrinth. It is beautiful. Guillermo del Toro
Mhm.
knows how to make a beautiful movie,
But
and also one that fucked me up when I was way too young watching it.
ditto. That's why it's a
'Cause
B
I was-
movie for me.
Yeah, my grandmother pulled me out of school to see it because, oh, it's from the Hellboy guy, or something along those lines.
You
Or-
poor child.
I don't know if it came out first for Hellboy, but it was something like we'd seen something that was really pretty and we all enjoyed. And
Let me put it to you this way, Rem. Your girlfriend would love the aesthetic of everything in it.
Oh yeah.
Like, thoroughly. Next up, Paranormal Activity.
It's been so long.
It's been so long, but I don't.
Surely the first one has to be either a C or a D, I feel, but I don't. It's like so unconfident for me.
I'm gonna put it in C just because I think like it was a different variation of found footage, right?
Yeah,
for
I think the
time.
way it approached its found footage format was unique enough to,
Yeah.
I guess, give it a C.
Yeah. That feels right. Okay, next up, Poltergeist.
Oh, I was wearing my Poltergeist shirt the other day.
All right, here's my problem with Poltergeist. All right,
Okay.
I want it to be more Toby Hooper, but but it tricks you. It's like, oh, Toby Hooper is the director, and you're like, yeah, and then it's like, and so here's this Steven Spielberg film, and I'm like, what the? That's not what I was here for. I'm going with C tier. I don't like the bait switch. It's too Spielberg for me. It's way too Spielberg.
That's fair. I don't like much Spielberg, but it was one of the ones I actually like more than most of his stuff.
I'm okay with putting it in a high C, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I don't mind Spielberg, but I can understand where you're coming from, Rem.
it's not what I don't want Spielberg when I want spook.
Oh,
especially
this
when
is the other movie that made me hate living.
Jesus!
What is it?
Requiem for a Dream.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh,
No,
Rem, it would
thank
fuck
you.
you.
Jesus!
Requiem for a Dream. This is like, remember how we mentioned The Mist is a movie that will make you. Yeah, but picture that feeling for like the whole movie.
It's not. Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable film.
Hell yeah, I'll add it to my watch list.
Yeah. It's one of those movies where it's like you watch it once and you never want to fucking see it again.
Yeah.
That being said, I think I'm gonna put it high B.
All right. Fair.
Just because the feelings it gave me were so uncomfortable that I can't think of it as an A.
Yeah.
Maybe after you watch it and tell me your thoughts on it, maybe that'll shift me. But oh, shit.
Seems
Look,
like the kind of bullshit that'd be up my alley.
yeah. Speaking of which, Rosemary's Baby.
Is that
Hey.
the original trailer or the remake? I can't. Or the
I think
original
it's
poster?
the
Oh,
original.
That says. Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Mia Farrow.
Okay.
I mean, it's quite good. Either a B or A.
I'll say.
Yeah.
I think
It feels so delightfully just like oppressive and fucked and bleak.
Yeah,
and
let's go with A. Let's
confusing.
go with A.
Oh yeah, it reminds me. We all need to see.
This is what
Immaculate.
Hereditary wanted to be. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh god, the fucking Saw films.
Yes. Looks like it only gave us the first three. Saw 1, 2, and 3.
I've seen all 3. I can only remember the first one, which I'm down to put in a B.
Yeah.
And then
the other
rest,
2,
no.
it's not notable. It's not notable enough or familiar enough for me to.
I would put 2 at a little lower than the first one. About the same thing because I think the Death House was very interesting in regards to that.
Then
Then
for the third, I would put
three
that in
kind of
D.
shat the bed, so I'm gonna put that in D.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I think that is an appropriate ranking for the first 3 Saw movies.
Sure.
Right. Sinister.
Oh God, I think it's kind of bad.
I agree.
it's in the category of that could have been kind of cool, but instead it's just kind of bad.
I
I
feel
mean, it
D.
is very much on par with Insidious for me. So
I feel
Yeah.
D.
Yeah.
D. Okay. Silence
Silence
of
of
the
the
Lambs.
Oh baby. I mean, it's got to be A or S.
the S.
It's going in S.
but
It's
come
going
on,
in
Yeah.
S.
come
This, my
Oh, it's
God.
been a while since we had an S. It's good to come back.
It's
to-
good. We needed
Yeah.
we needed this.
We needed a
this.
win.
We needed a good strong win.
Yeah.
Ugh. Requiem sent me on a mental spiral that fucked me for days. I had a fucking panic attack watching it. Exactly. Yeah. Requiem for a
Yeah.
Dream. Hey gang, I'm gonna say it. Don't watch it. If you're adult sensitive, don't watch it. I watched it, which I didn't.
Ooh. See, you're just selling me on it more.
I know I am.
I'm like, ooh, I want to fuck myself up.
Yeah. But yeah,
I
no,
wanna
like
hurt.
it's we don't need to explain why Silence of the Lamb is an S tier film.
No.
Everything
If
from
you
Anthony
haven't,
Hopkins
yeah.
to the story to like the
To Jodie Foster, to everyone involved. It
Yeah.
Real
is
good.
it's fucking phenomenal. And that's one
Captain
all three of us
Quagmire,
watched
Big Buffalo
together.
Bill,
And
Goodbye
you can tell that
Horses.
it's you can tell it's a great movie because so many people, especially like cinema snobs, will say it's not a horror, it's a thriller because they don't like when horror movies are good.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, it's a fucking horror movie.
Oh yeah, like,
It
it can
is-
also be a thriller.
Yeah,
but
it's
a
both.
horror movie.
But it is a horror movie. It is some of the most harrowing, terrifying shit out there.
Thriller, I don't even really view thriller as a primary genre. I view it as a secondary genre.
I
It's a
agree.
secondary, like action
Like for me, I'm like, if you have,
supernatural thriller.
if you mix like horror and usually like action or something like that, then you get thriller elements.
Yeah. A Tale of Two Sisters.
I've had it recommended, but I've not seen it.
Neither have I.
It appears to be a Korean horror film.
Yeah, I've had it recommended, but not seen.
We'll have to. That's the list. Tetsuo, the Iron Man.
All right, let's get weird and fucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in C tier.
Mhm.
I admire the sheer fucking audacity.
Yes, that is the correct response, I think, to Tetsuo.
It's more
Fair.
memorable than it is watchable.
Yes.
It is. Who?
It's a lot.
But
it's a lot
it-
for
it-
one evening. I'll tell you that
yeah,
much.
but it's very interesting, and I vibe what it's. I vibe some of the shit it pulls.
Okay.
I mean, it's got drill dick.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Oh.
I think
A
this
or
is
B for me.
Yeah, I think this is an A, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say mid to low A.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
The sequel, it doesn't belong in a horror list. If it shows up, they're completely wrong. It is pure comedy.
yeah, I think that might be the only one. But yeah, so because the reason for it is it was kind of like the prelude to a lot of slasher movies, but it also had
So
some of the,
imagine my disappointment when I go from Texas Chainsaw Massacre to goddamn Poltergeist.
yeah. God, but yeah, no. There are some scenes in Texas Chainsaw Massacre that are still absolutely terrifying to this day. I think the first kill of the movie is one of like the best jump scare scenes in like horror movie history. Honestly,
Oh yeah.
Like-
yeah.
because like
It's
that hammer kill and the way the body moves afterwards, oh, fucking harrowing.
All right, what's next?
Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Probably a C tier.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of stupid, but low C tier, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say low C tier. At the
It's not
highest.
Hitchcock's best.
Yeah, I don't think I could justify putting it in D tier, but I
And
think
the
low C tier.
legacy it left behind of
Yeah,
Hitchcock's sexual assault is
Yeah, not
It does, yeah. Like The Birds, it does more than you would expect with its premise, but
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The Blair Witch Project.
ooh.
This is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because there's some people who will say
It
that
feels
this
like
is,
too much of a catch-all.
Yeah.
I'm okay. One sec. Let me organize my thoughts.
yeah, like there's a lot going on here. Like, because there are some people who thinks this is an A tier, fantastic, amazing movie, and there are some people who think that it's a D tier, overrated, schlocky mess.
I mean,
I'm-
it's what brought found footage to the
And the viral marketing that was absolutely one of a kind. It's got to be A or B.
Yeah, and
I
like
would-
the fact
I
that the
would
movie is
definitely-
like a good, like 60% improv as well. Like,
And the fact that it's still like it is they took fucking no budget. They created something that is watchable and pretty solid. It's quality wise, it's probably a B. For its influence, legacy, and just how sheerly impressive its creation is. That all is like A to S. So where it ends up, that's up to you.
I think bottom of A tier. I'm gonna put it.
You know, yeah, I can work with that.
Because like I think everything I've learned about this movie is phenomenal and fascinating. But like as a movie by itself, I just don't think it can get much higher than that.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable.
Lane is the cold beer after Tetsuo's liquor. You know, that's accurate. That's pretty accurate, actually. God. The Descent.
Oh, okay, all right. I think Descent is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like super amazing, but I think it's like either like a high C or a low B. If I had to put.
Oh, I'm gonna say B.
Okay.
Yeah, B fits. We have a question in chat. Shaun is Requiem for a Dream, the non-Waves metamorphosis. Don't.
That's a rough comparison, dog. That's a rough
Yeah,
comparison.
no.
You can't really compare the two.
Honestly, found footage movies don't appeal to me. Found footage is one of, if not my favorite subgenre of horror.
It's fascinating
for multiple reasons.
But speaking of foundations, the
original
Exorcist.
Ooh,
this is a cursed fucking movie, by the way. Not the movie itself, but like the production behind it. Have you guys heard anything about it?
Oh yeah, the broken back.
The 9 people that died in the process of making it.
Yeah, I feel like it is a real solid A. Like
yeah.
I feel like it's like perfectly fits in A. It's like I don't think it's an S. I don't think it's a B. I think it's a good A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, The Fly.
I watched this for the first time like 2 days ago.
Wow.
Which version?
Goldblum.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
I think it is. I think it was very good. Goldblum was proper Goldblum, a little bit Nick Cagey, you know. They're in similar categories. I would say B. I'd say good B.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair.
Fair enough. I'll put it above Elvira. I'm sorry, Elvira. You just keep getting lower and lower and lower, but we all know why you're there. We know. We know. The Grudge.
Have I seen the Grudge? Because I've seen Ju-on.
And I'm fairly certain you've seen Ringu.
I've seen both both Ring and Ringu. I don't think I've seen The Grudge. I think I've just seen Ju-on The Grudge. I could be wrong, but if I've seen it, I don't remember it.
I'm mixing the two together potentially in my head, so I'm not going to comment.
And it's been maybe 15 years since I've seen it.
Yeah, let's slam it into never haven't seen it.
Yeah, so The Nun.
Not seen it.
Neither have I, but like I can tell you it'd go right next to The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, The Ring, or God. So
right.
it doesn't say if it's Ringu or like the Americanized The Ring.
That is the American Ring.
Yeah, I think that's
if it's the American Ring, then unfortunately that's a D tier movie.
Here's the thing. I'm putting them in a similar category either way, and that is a D tier movie. I think both Ring and Ringu, I think they're both bland and bad.
I disagree in regards to Ringu personally, but I will fully agree with you on the Ring.
I put them on a similar tier. Both of them have about the same number of pros and cons, but just like exchanged a little bit. But it's just I even rewatched this shit. I've seen both Ring and Ringu twice. Because I was like, but surely so many people love it. It's a classic for a reason, so let me watch it again. And no, I just didn't vibe.
Yeah, I suppose I can understand that, whereas I super vibed with it. Like, if it was me by myself, I'd probably put it as a B. But,
one that captures, like, very similar themes but I thought was a bit better. Let me see. I watched it somewhat recently, so I should be able to find it.
Nun is pretty awful. Conjuring was actually better. I'm trying to remember if I've seen The Nun. I
Oh, Pulse.
may have, but
Pulse does a lot similar, has a lot of similar themes
Mm-hmm.
to The Ring, but I thought did it better and more interesting.
Okay.
okay.
All right. Might just be one of our core disagreements that we usually have.
Possible.
Yeah, but because I for one love Ringu.
Depending on your opinions, we might hit another bump in the near future,
We'll
but we'll
see.
see.
Ritual.
Ritual's good.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's been a minute since I've seen it, but I'm leaning towards high B.
Okay, I'll put it there then. I will trust your gut.
Once again, been a while. I would need to remind myself, but I remember being I remember being impressed by it.
Okay, The Shining.
Kubrick Shining.
I mean, it A or S.
It's an
Yeah,
S. It's an
S.
S.
Yeah.
Like I know
Like,
that's like,
it's
oh,
an
all
excellent for a
film
reason.
guys say it's an S tier movie, but that's
So
because
well
it
done.
is. It's
We're
so,
not even film guys. We're just guys.
we're just guys. We're just a couple of
I mean,
dudes.
don't get me wrong. Like, fuck Kubrick, but man, it's impressive.
He made some movies.
Which is
Hey,
all the more impressive why after one of the single greatest horror movies of all time, your boy Mike Flanagan has the audacity to make a sequel and somehow pulls it off. It's goddamn miraculous.
This has become the Mike Flanagan fanboy stream. I want you to know.
You guys need to watch more Mike Flanagan.
We will. Speaking of something that I think is also an S tier, John
John Carpenter's
Carpenter's
The
The
Throw it up there.
Thing.
Throw it on up.
Yeah, like,
Oh. Yep.
yep, like,
I mean, come on.
like,
And now, sweet baby.
yeah, like these three movies right here, like my favorite horror movies. Like these three.
Yeah.
Like if you told me to name three of my favorite horror movies, these are the first three I'm thinking of.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So fucking good. The Wailing.
Ooh, all right. Here's where we get a little contentious from your boy Remington. I think The Wailing is probably a C tier. It's way too long for what it is, and it meanders a lot.
I assume you were expecting some bite back from me, but Remington, I haven't seen it.
Fair enough. It's seen as an icon. It's usually spoken in like the same breath as a Train to Busan, right? But yeah,
Like
The
I've heard
Wailing
of
is
it, but I just
not.
haven't seen it.
I think it is exceedingly overrated. Unfortunately, it just didn't land for me. I like its themes. I don't think it hits its themes.
Hey. All right. Host weekly Mike Flanagan movie night and force it on all of us.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Train to Busan.
Very good. Probably an A.
Yeah, no, I think it's an easy A. I felt awful watching it, but it was an easy A.
Yeah.
Like, oof.
It's a really good one.
Okay, here's a fun one. Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
I have not seen it.
Trick or Treat is, well, it's an anthology film, Remington.
Is it?
Yeah, it's an anthology
You have
film in
increased
loose,
my interest.
yeah, in loose chronological, in like non-chronological order. Like everything that's happening is happening in the same small town on the same night, but not all of it is happening in the exact same order. It's just a bunch of weird little creepy stories thrown together. It's not gonna blow your mind or anything, but it's a good bit of fun. It's a bit of fun.
It's fun. It's solid fun. And also, Sam is adorable.
Yeah.
That's why you see him everywhere.
Like, I would say it's an underrated movie, but that's because most people don't vibe with anthology style stuff.
Dude, I love anthology. I'm an anthology slut.
I know you are. So I think with my biases in mind, I think I'm gonna put it as a B movie. That's just where I feel. That's what I feel. Fuck! This isn't a horror movie. Underworld, what are you doing here?
The original Underworld has some horror elements, and also Kate Blanchett being very hot.
Well,
I've never seen it.
I mean, it's vampires v werewolves, Rem, and lots of black tight leather.
Lots of black leather, and werewolves just being feral, big, burly men.
Well, sounds like horror adjacent enough. So where are you guys gonna put it?
D.
Yeah.
Oh God, Kate
You guys
Blanchett.
are here
Though.
talking about me like, oh yeah, it's got all this and all that, and
It's
not
not
a
a good movie, Rem. It's a hey Rem. It's a hot movie. Like, oh man,
Oh, my.
there's a lot of sex appeal in that movie.
But
It's not good.
God damn it.
Oh. Apparently Ozzy is saying that is not Kate Blanchett.
it's not Kate Blanchett. Holy shit! Wait, hold on. Am I having a brain fart?
Possibly. I just went with what you said. Because I'm bad at remembering actors.
Shit. Am I trying to fucking? Am I having a brain fart? Kate Beckinsale. Okay,
Beckinsale.
Kate with a B. Okay,
The other Kate.
Yes,
The other Kate.
The other Kate. Yes.
The
Sorry.
point still stands though.
Yeah, I
It is
can't get
hot.
people's names right. I can barely remember Shaun's.
It is hot. That's the important thing. What's not hot?
Oh,
Us.
Oh,
All right. I'm gonna say I think it belongs in an A.
Mhm.
I think like plot and watching it through probably a B. The themes and how layered they are is an S. Average out all of that. A.
It's an A. Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Nick Cage Dracula film? You mean Renfield? No,
I've heard bad
unfortunately.
things.
I've heard terrible things about it, but I still want to see it.
Guys, we're almost there.
We're getting there, goddammit.
We're almost there, and the rest of this list ain't looking that great.
No. There's a lot of misses. Speaking of which, 7.
I've not seen it.
What's in the box?
It's a very dark film. It is almost gore porn adjacent. I would say low C.
I will say low C simply due to the final scene. Because, the idea of Gwyneth Paltrow's severed head in a box is a good way to end a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, God, Kevin Spacey being fucking creepy.
Oh, yeah. A cube. Never heard
That's
of
a fun C.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It's nothing really special, but once again, it's a fun idea. Executed fairly competently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, the Dracula from, I think, the mid-2000s?
90s.
I've not seen
90s.
That is the one with our good friend Gary Oldman being very hot.
Yes.
And Winona Ryder being very hot. And every time when you're going through the haunted house, when you go into the vampire room for like a decade, you'd hear the da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun 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 boom. That's from Dracula. It is
I've not
not a
seen
good
it.
film. It's not a good film.
It's another film with hot people.
You get so swept up into talking about how hot everybody is, and you're like, it's hot, it's iconic, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm
the
noticing a trend.
costumes are fantastic. Keanu Reeves can't do British. He's fucking terrible. It is the worst Keanu Reeves film you will ever see.
Oh shit.
Okay, no, Speed.
Lake Mungo.
Oh, wait, is this the one I'm thinking of? Let me double check.
I've not seen this one.
Hold on.
I'm seeing if it's the one I remember.
Came out in 2008.
Oh yeah. This one?
I'm seeing 2008 and 2010. I'm seeing two different things.
Probably like its American releases too.
Oh yeah, originally Australian.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure this is the one I remember. I'm gonna go with a B tier, but a B tier that's like, ooh, this one's interesting. Ooh.
So it's B because of the spice, not so much because of the actual meat itself.
Yeah, well, I think it belongs in B, but it's like I would lightly highlight the B as being like, hey, most people wouldn't have seen this one, and it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
Next up is Wreck.
Ooh, baby. Wreck is dope.
Remind me, I feel like I've seen this one, but remind me of the basic premise.
It's the Spanish apartment zombies.
Oh, yeah, no, this is a great fucking movie.
Oh, I'm confusing that with a similar,
because
like VHS based horror film.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards A, honestly.
I'll put it in A.
Shit.
I'll put it in A.
What's the horror film franchise? It's VHS based, and it's like.
Are you talking about VHS, perhaps?
It might just be fucking VHS. Yeah, probably.
VHS is a fun franchise It's anthology, so obviously hit or miss. One of them is just miss, but the rest are hit or miss, and a couple of them are just hit.
I might be the one I was remember is not anthology though. It's a full coherence. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Gang, we're back in Shyamalan Town, the village.
God,
I've never seen it.
You don't need to.
I hated it.
You don't need to.
hated
I
The
like
Village.
it's. I don't think it's quite F, but it's like
It's mid D. Yeah.
like it's Wolf Creek.
I don't think I've seen it.
I don't think I have either.
I know I haven't, but I would at least want. Let's see.
Yeah, no, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, no, not at all.
A chilling, factually based story of 3 road trippers in a remote Australia who are plunged into danger when they accept help from a friendly local.
Factually based, factually based, I'm sure. Where it's like, somebody's been kidnapped by somebody before. Those are facts.
A bunch of people did disappear on this road at some point.
Yeah. In Australia? How shocking.
Going through Wolf Creek National Park in the outback.
Oh, people dying in the outback. What a surprise. It's not
They
like
run
there's all
into a
kinds
local bushman.
Wait a minute. I recognize this movie. It is bad. It is bad. Yeah, like I'm gonna keep it in have not seen, but I think like it might be an F contender.
Oh shit.
Yeah. The Nosferatu remake.
Not seen it.
Neither have
I
I.
haven't seen the remake.
Nope. Well, there we go. The Collector.
Collector. Oh, isn't this it's a guy who like booby trapped or something?
Yeah, it's like booby trapped houses and like
it's kind of
collecting like people, like is what it is.
Yeah,
like he puts a person in a box and he swaps out the people. Yeah, that thing.
It's been a minute. I'm thinking a C or a D.
Yeah, no, like I don't think it's
probably
good.
a C as a default, but like a low C or a high D. I don't remember it being particularly good.
Yeah. Like I know it has an awful sequel. That much I know.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is The Strangers.
Okay. The Strangers. I think it is interesting.
Does it make it into a B though?
Maybe B, but I'm thinking C is probably a better spot for
Let's
it.
put it
like
there.
the fact that we're like, can we justify B? Probably means we can't.
Yeah. Another very popular one that I don't know if it deserves to be as popular.
Fucking hate Babadook.
Yeah, the Babadook.
I think Babadook is pretty solid.
Really? Okay.
I do.
That does feel like it'd be a film that you'd enjoy, yeah.
Like my gut instinct was C, but I'm willing to go higher if you can convince me.
I'm leaning towards a B.
Okay.
I think that I think it does a lot of stuff in an interesting, unique way. I wouldn't have it extremely high as a B, but I think it deserves a B. I think like the themes, how they're explored. I mean, the fact that the kid is annoying as fuck, which
that was my big issue.
But I know that was the point. However,
but also it's like yes, I feel that way.
Yeah.
Yes, it made me feel that way, and it made me just fucking hate the film as a result.
Okay. The Invisible Man, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the modern remake.
That's the remake, which is not good.
No.
However, the original still wasn't great, but it was fun.
I'm thinking I would probably put this in like high C.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I'd probably err towards low, so I'll put it mid.
All right.
Yeah. I think it did some pretty solid stuff. Did some not so solid stuff too, but
yeah, it was I don't know. It definitely was less campy, of course, than the original and even the book.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Jaws.
I think it is A or B. A lot of people would immediately yes, and I disagree with that.
No, I disagree as well.
I'm honestly pulling a bit more towards B, if that will help at all. But I don't know. Jaws is
I think
it's quite well done.
Yeah. Like, and there are problems with it, but you do also have to remember, like, this movie is kind of the sole reason people have a fear of sharks these days.
Yeah.
I
think it could reasonably be an A, and it probably deserves to be an A.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's just a little bit like personal aesthetic, more or less, that is letting me put it in B, but I think it probably deserves an A.
I think I'm willing to put in an A as well.
All right.
Yeah, a low A, but I'll put it in an A. All right. The original Carrie.
Oh, ooh, okay.
I
The
do
original
love
Carrie
the
was
original
pretty
Carrie.
solid.
I'd honestly leaning like mid A.
I think
It's A or B for me.
I'm willing to put it in
Hmm.
A. I think just because like they keep trying to redo it and it never quite had the same magic.
Yeah,
That's
And
fair. I'd
also
probably slightly lean B, but I'm okay with A
there
so
was
because it's
a
close.
knockoff that came out a couple years later called Jennifer that was surprisingly good.
Huh.
yeah. Yeah, so I think low A for Carrie is very fitting. All right, we're almost there. The Omen.
The original Omen too.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
We're
there
God,
recently the first Omen has been released.
I've heard nothing good about it.
The Omen, look, it's a classic. It's iconic. I don't think it's that good. It's
It's not good. The sequel is so fucking dumb.
I'm
is it above C?
probably no, I think it's probably a D.
Really?
Mid
I
to
think
low C, high D. Yeah.
All right.
yeah, but because here's the thing. You're like, "Oh, hey, here's this spooky antichrist child." And then you don't let the spooky antichrist child be a spooky antichrist child. And it's like, what are we here for?
Like Remington is a fan of both child murder and child murder.
That's why you play Lucius instead.
That's such a bad game, Dylan. You know that's a bad game.
I know, but the idea is fun. Some of the physics are silly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it needs some spice. It needs a twist. It needs something. It's just too straightforward as it
And then
stands.
it gets far too like government based in this.
Yeah, it's too straightforward and too bland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
House of 1,000 Corpses.
Not seeing it.
I
It's aesthetically
refresh my memory, Dylan,
fantastic.
because I think I might have seen this one.
Bob Zombert's take on Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the whole evil fucking psycho family.
Is this with the one clown dude?
Yeah, Captain fucking Spaulding.
Yes. Of the Rob zombie films I've seen, this is an okay one. This is an okay one.
Yeah, no, I put Corpses like mid to low B personally, but if you want to put it in the C tier, I wouldn't object.
I feel like it's a C tier personally.
Yeah.
Because
it
it's
features,
not there's it's a mean film. It's a mean
it
film.
is, yeah.
The whole trilogy is mean.
Yeah.
And like I don't always vibe with that, you know?
Yeah.
So speaking of which
Fucking misery.
Oh, I want to go A.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
brief consideration of S, but I think A is where it
I
lies.
think a high A is perfect for Misery.
Oh man,
It is one of the scariest ones.
I love it.
Uh,
It is limited setting. Vibe with that. It is such an ordinary human situation, while somehow also within this very human situation being maximally fucked, and that is not easy to do.
Yeah, like it's similar to Perfect Blue in that way.
Yeah, so I vibe with it. Yeah, high A,
High A,
really good shit.
Very
Yeah.
high. Like, oh boy, Lights Out.
Oh, let's see. Lights out. Lights out.
It's ringing a bell, but it's I don't know if I've actually seen it.
Let me search it up.
When Rebecca left home, she thought her childhood.
Oh, this is the one based on the short that went viral
Oh, right.
of like
you
turning
remember the short.
of the
Yeah.
flickering light and everything and turning it
Yes.
off and then on and then oh fuck.
Oh, it's a James Wan film.
Have
I think the original. This was what got James Wan big. Was that original short?
Is it a James Wan? It's not a James Wan. Don't lie to me.
No, that's David F. Sandberg.
Yeah, don't you fucking lie to me.
It says James Wan on this poster.
No, James Wan probably he didn't even write
He
it.
produced it. Let me see.
Hold on. I think he wrote the original.
Yeah, he's a producer. He's a producer.
Okay,
Oh, he's a producer,
look,
okay.
it's very small text. I can
Yeah.
see The Conjuring and James Wan. That's what I can see.
I don't think I've seen it. I've seen the short film, and the short film was dope. But from what I've heard, just watch the short film.
Yeah, I mean, the short film's only a couple minutes.
Yeah,
So-
and it's really good. It's like it shows up, does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it will give a lot of people nightmares.
It's 3 minutes. Watch it.
Tusk. I know I've heard a lot about it, but I've never seen it.
Fucking F.
All right. No, I don't think it deserves an F. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I think that it has a lot of merit, and I love the audacity. Still, it would be like with all that in mind, it would probably end up between a B and a C. But then you get a performance that I think drops it straight into D, and it is Johnny Depp, who, man, he craters this thing.
And
He
yeah,
absolutely craters this. One of the worst performances that's so self-indulgent that I've seen in literally anything. And so, like, I admire the audacity. The premise is delightfully fucked and weird. It could have gotten higher C or lower B, but Johnny Depp fucks it. It's a D. It's a
do you know
D.
why Johnny
God
Depp was
damn.
in the film?
What was that?
Johnny Depp was in the film only because his daughter is friends with Kevin Smith's daughter.
Of course. Yeah, Johnny
So he
Depp's
did it.
performance, it's one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
All right. Down to 4 movies. The Sixth Sense.
Of the Shyamalans, I actually really enjoyed The Sixth
No,
Sense.
I think it's easily his best one.
It's a good old like Spielberg-y Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I think it's between B and C for me. I can see its merit. I think that I think the acting was real solid. I think it kind of loses it in the second half.
After
Because
they kind of learned to come to terms with everything.
yeah, like for example, there's the scene of like helping a little girl a little girl like be laid to rest by realizing that she was despicably murdered by poison in front of a convenient little camera, and now that's all torn apart. And it's like, what the fuck was that all about? That's not even about the main characters, and it's so weird. It's such a weird, over the top thing to have as a side detail.
It is also still a Shyamalan film, Rem. That's
Yeah, that's fair.
like,
That is
but
the
it is
most
his best
Shyamalan
one, so
movie.
I'm willing to put it at the top of B.
I at least put it at the bottom of B. At least put it at the bottom of B. For me.
Okay, for you.
For you.
It's definitely a B, but near the bottom B for you, Rem.
Where did I just want to make sure. Where did I put Signs? I just want to make sure I don't put it below that.
I think you put Signs in C. Yeah, you put Signs in C.
Okay, yeah.
So you're safe. You're safe.
All right. Okay. The Void. Never seen it.
Oh, The Void. Is that the one on the
James
ship?
Cameron one.
No, the Void is not the one on the ship. That's the Triangle. The Void is weird cult shit.
Oh, this is The Void, not the other The Void. Okay, yes, cult-like figures
A
trap a
hot
cop.
minute since I've seen it, but it was delightfully weird. Probably a B tier, honestly.
Okay.
It hasn't been recent enough for me to have a confident opinion. But
I was thinking of The Abyss. Okay.
That's a very different movie. That's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
The Void, it goes for cosmic horror, and few do that, and few succeed.
Okay. Last two, we're not exactly ending with some bangers as far as I'm aware. White Noise.
I don't know if I've seen it.
I definitely haven't.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, well, that's where that goes. And then finally, Audition.
Ooh, Audition. I vibe with.
Okay.
It is a wild ride, and it's such a fascinating, possible unreliable narrator, possibly who even knows who the narrator is. Fucked up shit that, if explored with nuance, is real dope. I would be down to give Audition an A, but I'd also be down to give it a B.
Oh, this is on my list of Japanese films I need to see. Oh, whoops.
Y'all haven't seen Donnie Darko from chat. I have. These chuckle fucks haven't.
Yeah.
I love Donnie Darko. Remington would love it. He would think it's pretentious and up its own ass, but I think he would enjoy it greatly.
No, Rem, I'm gonna trust your judgment, and I'm gonna put it in the A tier because, like,
yeah,
I'm probably gonna do it when I eventually watch it. Let's be real.
It's a wild ride, and it's one of those where it's like, all right, first layer, pretty solid. Okay, good spook. And then it's like, all right, all of the other layers you peel back. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, well, and that is that. We have ranked all of our favorites, all of the horror movies on this list. We haven't seen a good chunk of them. 3 of them don't belong on this list. But there we go. We surprisingly not as many Fs as I thought there would be. Looks like we're just a little more generous than we thought. But
Well, I mean, unfortunately, it's all about what the list provides us.
yeah. Based on all the ones that we have here, these are like our general rankings of good horror
And
movies.
likewise, there's some that like I could easily put into an S, but that didn't show up. Like
Yeah.
Parasite would have been a dope one
Right.
to show up that I would have been like, yeah, S tier.
But no list is
Lighthouse would
perfect.
be another.
Yeah.
But it's how it goes. It's how it goes. Or the possibly one of the greatest movies of all time, the WNUF Halloween special, which nobody has ever heard of.
No.
And that's fine. It's amazing. Good God. It's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna link it to you boys. It's a goddamn masterpiece that nobody has ever watched in their life.
That is
But I
the
love
kind
it.
of thing
I
you
love
would
it.
do. But basically, if you guys want our horror movie recommendations, well, here's a good list. If you haven't seen anything in the S, A, or B tier, they might be worth giving a watch.
Yeah.
Right? Anything C and below, maybe not.
And
Maybe
if you
not.
Aside from
find
Gremlins,
anything
watch
by your
Gremlins.
boy Mike Flanagan. Oh.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna go eat because I'm starving to death. Farewell,
Yes,
everybody.
and I think that's
Yeah.
actually where we're going to end things because that was 3 hours of our time, and I am also dying.
Yeah, that
Hell
was 2
yeah.
hours just on this single list, by the way.
Good, it deserved.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
the first list, funny. That was great. This list is actually getting into the nitty-gritty of what we are and what we like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is where we're gonna call it, and yeah, and I'll also post this list on our Twitter as well, just so
yeah.
that people can have an idea of what our since they don't obviously want a major horror podcast from us yet.
Yeah.
They can
At
get
least some recommendations.
some recommendations at the very least. And hey, and if they have counter arguments to it, then great. That being said, anything in the S tier, if you've not seen it, watch it. It's good.
Undeniably.
They're wonderful. We've done an
And
episode
likewise,
on one
A
of them.
tier, all good shit.
Yeah, this is. Look, I don't think we're full of ourselves, but we feel like we have correct opinions when it comes to horror.
Even when we disagree, we're all correct in our own unique way.
Yeah. And with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. And Remington just disconnected blindly because he keeps doing that. He doesn't do grand goodbyes in streams. He just dips. He just dips like that.
Fucking amateur.
Like he's still here. Like he's still here.
Penis.
Christ. All right. Well, let's go quickly find somebody to raid then, shall we?
You know, if we had the foresight to set up Clive, the Discord bot, to record each of our audios individually, we could have actually turned this into a little podcast bonus episode.
Yeah, but like I'm gonna upload the VOD to our VOD channel, and if we really want to, I can download it later and like chop it up in a bit more of a feasible way at some point for like the interesting things. But that's a down the line type of situation.
Yeah, that's if we're running out of shit.
Yeah. Like
if we have to miss a week.
if I want to learn video editing, this will be my project. But let's see. What kind of streamings are out there? Lots of streaming, lots of streams. I would say doing a just chatting one would be a good option, but there's
we were just talking about horror. May as well want to go with someone doing something like Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. Let's have a look. See, Dead by Daylight. Let's see if there are any of them weird anime avatared people playing Dead by Daylight.
Ah.
My God.
I see someone who appears to be wearing a Ghostface costume.
Oh yeah, he does that. I've seen his
That's
stream a
fucking
handful of times. Yeah.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go for sub 100. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with this one.
Shaun's horny for that guy. Hey, you know what? He is horny for Ghostface. Confirmed.
I don't know if that's
specifically the Ghostface MILF from Scream 2.
Well, you know. Let's
My ass is very beatable.
Okay, listen here. Let's raid an anime cat girl. Why not?
I'll raid your anime cat girl.
But then once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Capybara, alright.